Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is December 3rd, 2025. Seemed like it was going to be a chill day as we still prepare for the Fed next week and all of that. You had a lot of tech earnings, some good and bad news with AI. You had a couple of rumors in terms of robotics and the White House, even then Tesla, the iRobot. And then out of nowhere, I posted it in the chat. I even posted it on the Twitter because it was kind of wild. But there was a report that Microsoft is lowering their sales quota and that some people, AI customers, are not willing to buy certain software, and that kind of caused a reaction on everything. So it was a little bigger than you would have expected. I mean, it looked like a damn CPI or something came out, but that's setting the stage here for today. We're already halfway through the week. I did add to the long term, and I think today I should have the video out so you guys will all find out. And then you also got Besant talking now. He says Chinese have consistently cut prices. Yeah, he's talking about tariffs. But before any of that, my friends, it feels like it's going to be a good day. I think there's a lot in store, and you're here right now. And I hope you know what we do here at the Cult, my friends. Before we chase the dollar, that you had a lot of tech earnings, some good and bad news with AI. Or we try to enrich ourselves. We must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the Cult, the people here, the people not here, I want to give a huge shout out, all the active service, past service, anybody who has served this great nation, even the families, they've made their sacrifice as well. God bless every single one of you, and thank you. I really do hope you apply your training, your sacrifice, your discipline. It carries very, very well into the financial markets. You just got to use it, my friend. So I do hope that we can help. I do think y'all should be owning the land, owning the stocks, all the good quality. This is our mission for everybody, but, you know, my veterans, y'all got a special place in my heart, and I hope all of y'all who haven't served, man, I really hope you can say the same, and I hope you can make some noise for the people, and we could all work together, baby. So God bless every single one of you, and big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities. Doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their community run, baby. God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Set the judge! Oh, it's game time, baby. Horna! Oh, we wish you a merry long term. We wish you a merry long term. We wish you a merry long term and a save 10%. Oh, game time. So, we actually have another one of those meetings too. I actually forgot to go over that. We have another one of those conferences. So you saw a couple yesterday. You just got to be familiar where, or if you see any headlines or a stock move without headlines, that could be it. And then we just got your boy, that whole Microsoft thing. But I'm going to be watching iRobot and Tesla related to the half-true, half-false rumor here with robotics. Marvel, we already had some good plays on there leading into earnings. They had a really strong guide on the data centers. The earnings wasn't too hot, but that's the thing that made it go nuts. SLV, silver, keep your eyes out for it. Bristol Myers, they had a drug related to Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's psychosis. That was actually good. FDA recommended they continue. Going to watch that. And then ACHR, Miami. It relates. So other than that, we got a minute, bro. I got to go potty. You know that I didn't go. We've been, oh man, what a day. So what a day. Here's my uncle. And get ready. God bless you, baby. That's it. Let's go.
Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a cult, baby. Hey. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there, I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear, no fear. Oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah, it's done. Daddy said it's finished, made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it, set apart from the start. And the heart isn't ours, it's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the arc. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god, then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib, but for a second, keep it real, that's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing, they want death to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now, Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Ay.
Round 1, fight. So yeah, I think the rumor, I think iRobot with the robotics, it was just Politico. They haven't given, that's not from the White House, but the real mention is Tesla. So I think iRobot will be the hype one until it's not, and then Tesla whenever it comes out. So watch out. And then again, you got Mr. Besant talking as well. See if value goes up here on that little Microsoft move. I think PG bounced a decent amount here today after yesterday. But yeah, let's see. And we'll keep Microsoft up. And then where's Amazon? I think they're doing that event again. Ah. My keyboard. Oh, Intel. And yeah, did you guys hear Intel? It was pretty much an Apple rumor. Or again, somebody said it on Friday, and then the information came out with something today, but nothing's confirmed on that. Oh, BMY. Good morning, my friends. Good morning. I'll put the Lontar. I cannot type today. Alrighty. America. MSTR. Oh yeah, crypto did good. And then watch silver as well, and then there was one more. Oh, that sucks, dude. Those Marvels were great until it fell out the money. Boo. Oh, and then watch healthcare too if those end up going up. Yeah, Fiserv, the CEO bought. So that's why it just went up right there. Literally CEO and the CFO, I think, they bought like $2 million, non-scheduled purchase. So that's what's getting that up there. I don't know where any of the other financials are. Oracle got an upgrade to overweight. So again, they've been already killed. Yeah, BMY started 3%, still holding. CRL, Giggle. Google's actually recovered there pretty quick. Google got one of those candles. Again, Microsoft's the one down 2-3. Apple's going up. And then again, let's see if Intel hit a new 52-week high, then came down. IEPA authority on tariffs has been giving room on trade, says Besant. PayPal. Uber got an upgrade. Uber and Lyft. And then Uber has robo-taxi stuff in Dallas. Oil. Yeah, Google's actually starting off great considering the morning here. And Starbucks. ONON. SPY's about to go green. Is that because was it a gap in the morning? Yeah, so here's green, believe it or not. So you were already up a decent amount on the pre-market and then the Microsoft thing, but you might brush it off pretty good. We will see, my friends. Oh yeah, where is that one? Terrible, but they're buying them. Check one Netflix on the low. Again, that's related to the WBD buyout thing. But yeah, dude, the Chop City is real. It's kind of crazy. We're making the move, bro. You're getting the movement that would have got you out of it, but we're just all moving to go nowhere, unfortunately. I put the long time on the beat so I can listen to it. What date is that? Oh, Intel, what are you doing, bro? Come on. It could be partly NVIDIA, but we have seen decent moves. Again, that NVIDIA-Google dynamic. That's really in the last couple weeks that had an interesting effect. I put the long time on the beat so I could listen to it. Habibi, why so much expense? These people. The people at the PayPal. Oh, wow. Bing, bing. Qualcomm green. Boeing too. There was another again, Boeing had to do with like all the announcements yesterday, but then also Airbus not doing too hot affected it. XLP going. I mean, the Russell is up and then the Dow is barely up. SPY barely red. Again, you had way more of a gap up, and then Nasdaq's the one that's down there. Again, that Microsoft is going to weigh on. Microsoft should be weighing on the Dow too. So honestly, you probably have a way better you probably got a way better move on the Dow. We'll check here in a little bit. And then XLP, XBI came back up. We never really got anything on that yesterday move, if you recall. I put the long time on the beat so I could listen to it. What's the date today? The 3rd? Oh, man. Alright. I forgot about Eli Lilly. Certain sectors of the economy have weakened, need an interest rate cut. Says Besant, I'm advocating regional Fed. Presidents must have lived in their district for 3 years. Oh, no way. I like that. Besant saying if you want to be a regional Fed, you have to live in the area. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Is that Fiserv again? It is Fiserv again, so they rocketed up. Reddit, Microsoft, Citi, banks too, they're coming up. Yeah, ON, bro. And ON Semiconductors. But dude, ON's been on fire. I think it might be Christmas. I'm sure there's some, I bet you there's some Adobe data on how much. I feel like they've been blowing up, bro. It's crazy. MSTR again. Bitcoin did good after that little deep sell. I mean, the market's looking pretty decent. That Microsoft got in the way. Again, you see the title of today, 497 versus the Mag 7, because again, yesterday you had like 60-70% of the market in the red, and then we still didn't do that bad. So that's still in play, and now Microsoft kind of selling off here to start. I think it's creating this effect, but there's a lot of movement, it looks like, beneath the surface, my friends. So we will see. My proposal for Fed presidents won't be retroactive. UNH, DO, I think Bud, DO, Constellation, they're all going up now too. And travel, bro. Everything that, like that 60% that got clapped yesterday, they're all kind of going up. And then some of the winners like Intel, how you gonna hit 52? Actually, never mind. He does that all the time. He does that all the time. ELF is up 8. Jeez. Let's see. Yeah, it is up 8. My goodness. Check EL too. They're up 2. JD's still in the red. Caterpillar was a winner yesterday. That's on the low. Nah, Amazon's already given up 1 too. They're not doing. They have the event now too still, but that one's dead. I think Meta might be holding up better. Yeah, Meta's kind of been in that zone. AM Dizzle down too. Remember, chips were very hot yesterday. You got 406 in the green. It feels like it, because that's what I'm saying. It does seem pretty broad. But even then, you're still red on that Microsoft move. So it's kind of the reverse of yesterday. Give it till like middle of the day or even by Euro close, and we'll see if that holds up or not. Okta's coming back up. That's a red to green on earnings. Drones. Those are doing pretty good. Yeah, UMAC popping right now. And then where's all the defense ones? We didn't really get any updates on the war stuff yesterday. The U.S. a very good ally of China and Taiwan, Besant says. I don't know. Can we listen to Besant live? Because there's a bunch of headlines coming in. He's at the Deal Book Summit. I think they only let you in if you like scam. It's a Sam Bankman. Oh, yeah, it is.
As part of the trade deals, we have negotiated, President Trump has negotiated 1,000 the new Boeing airplanes.
Nike again now.
So we are getting into this cadence that with pharmaceutical reshoring, with semiconductors, Apple has said that they are going to, I think we're up to $600 billion now. So, I think that we have set the stage and we have these commitments, and those commitments are due to certainty on tax, certainty on energy, certainty on regulation.
But you think, I guess my question is, the administration has talked about $21 trillion in investment being made in the U.S. This is according to Bloomberg, so you can go after them if you want to go after them. They say, over a review of the 137 projects on the White House's webpage, they believe there's only $7 trillion in pledges that could be considered real investment.
Well, first of all, let's go back to that.
Okay.
Only $7 trillion. Say that again.
By the way, I'm not dismissing $7 trillion. $7 trillion is extraordinary.
But let's go back.
Let's give you credit for it. The question is
only $7 trillion. What was the entire FDI during the Biden administration?
I'm not going to tell you that this is not extraordinary. The question is whether the public is being told the right amount.
Well, the thing is, again, we have asymmetric information.
Right.
We know which companies have committed to reshore production as part of that. We arrived, and back to the China relationship, that I always say we do not want to decouple, we want to de-risk.
Right.
And everyone who was in the administration the past 4 years should be ashamed, because they did nothing to de-risk. So whether it's semiconductors, and I will tell you, back to Taiwan, the single greatest economic threat is that the single point of failure for the global economy would be the disruption on chips from the island of Taiwan.
Do you think Taiwan becomes more or less valuable strategically to us and the rest of the world as we move more of that manufacturing onshore? Meaning, the president says he wants to have 50% of all manufacturing of chips in the U.S. here in the next 2 years. If that were to happen, does that make it more likely that China could go effectively take over Taiwan without us getting involved in? Because we'd say, we've got the chips, we're okay? Or does that make it more likely that we would go protect them?
Well, I think that that's like a flawed question, because it's like saying that if I have insurance, do I want my house to catch on? Is my house more or less likely to catch on fire? Right? Well, because you're de-risking, doesn't mean you've changed anything.
We're going to have Larry Fink and Brian Armstrong out here in just a moment. We're going to talk about the markets and everything else. One of the big questions in the marketplace right now is private credit. There's a great worry that perhaps private credit is, as Jeffrey Gundlach has described it, garbage lending. Howard Marks is saying cockroaches in the coal mine, that if there's a crisis in the future, this is where it's going to come from. What do you think?
I think that if we think about the framing of private credit, first of all, let's ask, why have we seen this growth in private credit? The growth in private credit, in my view, is because the regulatory framework for the regulated banking system has been too tight. So at Treasury, I lead something called the Financial Stability Oversight Council, and we have been working with the regulators to create more credit in the regulated banking system. I think it was Oliver Wyman's numbers, not mine. When we finish the regulatory changes that we've announced, it'll be $2.5 trillion more in lending capacity from the banks. So I think that private credit, I almost think of it as a first loss tranche, that it's investors, not.
And so you don't think it's connected back into the banking system more broadly?
I think it could be connected back into the banking system, but I think that there is a large buffer there. I have a different worry about private credit than other people do. My worry is that in a downturn, it could be very pro-cyclical. That because it is financed by investors, if there was some kind of financial instability, if there was a downturn in the economy, Treasury through the regulators and the Fed, we can give window guidance to the regulators to loosen lending, the restrictions, the Fed can ease monetary conditions, maybe go to the balance sheet. My worry is that private credit becomes very pro-cyclical, that when you have investors, in the investment business for 35 or 40 years, in your book, 1929, when you have investors as opposed to a government entity,
I don't know. When did you guys last hear me?
Panic at the bottom.
As if I was saying, watch. Just wait till the morning. But that dynamic, the 493 versus the 490 versus the Max 7, that's fully in play. And then Meta's going green right there. Oh, what? It's been a while. Oh, I've been ranting away, dude.
It was something I had planned to ask David Ellison.
I was talking a little bit of shit about Mr. Sorkin too.
David Ellison, as you know, is trying to buy.
So yeah, I was saying, pay attention to all the value names. You're just doing the reverse of yesterday. And then you can notice, like, it's been 15 minutes, but they've all been straight green. A lot of the names that were beaten down yesterday. I went out with the data. I think the data was perfect. ADP was bad in the morning, but the services
suggested or said this is one of my favorite films, and I want to do this for Brett. And so now he is doing this, and people look at this and think that this is an example of a company trying to placate, that the president is trying to push him, and
I don't know
they
if you saw the iRobot.
The president.
Those went a lot off.
What do you think of that?
And then gold and silver is still chilling.
That a transaction of that size would be
But do you think it's appropriate for the president to be asking them to do something like that? And is it appropriate for a company to be doing something on the other end to placate the president?
I don't know. Is the Obama's contract with Netflix, is that appropriate?
My understanding is that came after he was the president of the United States. And that's the distinction, because these are things that are going to be in front of the president and the administration.
Okay, so for the first son to have a contract with a Ukraine energy.
Well, and Don Jr. has a relationship, I don't know where Shane is, at Polymarket and with Kalshi. And so it's very complicated. I mean, I'm curious how you think about these things.
These things are very complicated, and I think
you literally just brought up the Burisma contract.
If you want to start pulling at every thread, then let's start pulling at every thread of where Chuck Schumer's children work. let's start pulling at every thread where every one of his former staffers work.
But you appreciate that there's a large swath of the public that looks at these relationships and says this is different. And by the way, I had somebody.
This is why I don't like him, though, man. I'm like,
dude, the president.
He can ask tough questions, but then he will literally water it down
was, this used to happen privately all the time.
I guess it is.
The president is just more explicit about it. Here, that's the sympathetic view.
Yeah, look, I think that is completely the offside.
Boeing again.
The president
green again. I don't know if
could have said, I think it'd be a great movie.
To run a little bit. Google and Amazon, the ones that are down, and then Nvidia is only 0.7.
Right, but, Andrew,
but do you think the president should be weighing in on a transaction like that, I guess is the question.
Yeah, and if you're still chilling there, but I do think the Dow would be up a lot more.
But you're not saying that he weighed in.
He hasn't yet.
Well, you weren't saying whether he's weighed in on Paramount, Warner Brothers.
What I'm suggesting.
You're saying he could?
China,
let's go back to the
yes, we're back to could. But that's why, arguably, look, my understanding is that Paramount passed on making that film originally. So one of the reasons that you're seeing lots of companies do lots of things is to attempt in their own way to curry some favor with this administration.
Well, Andrew, the defense primes spend $200 million a year on lobbying.
I understand, but and the question is this you put this in the lobbying context?
Sorry? Could be.
And you think that's, but I guess the question is, this is like a new, is this a new normal?
That, Andrew, there's no new normal. And, I can tell you that I actually don't read the New York Times anymore. That sometimes I do watch CNBC, but occasionally people send me articles, and there's just this feverish swamp. And you're now a pop historian with 1929, and in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, the New York Times is no longer the paper of record. You can't go. I read this article. President Trump is slowing down. President Trump's mental capacity. It is 100% fake. That he only called me twice at 2 a.m. last week instead of 3 times.
You're saying he called you? I believe that he called you at 2 or 3 in the morning.
That whole narrative, and this is why this is why young people are going to TikTok. This story, somebody else sent it to me. Mike Johnson is beleaguered that he and his wife were so tired. They gave actually a very sympathetic and funny interview that somehow got twisted on the pages of the New York Times into this. It's just
the
long-term video will be tonight, I think.
I think that what's happening here.
I have it filmed,
I will just defend that article for a moment. Not because I had nothing to do with it.
I just started ranting away.
Part of it is, if you remember, the media, including the Times and others, got criticized for not raising more issues around the health of Joe Biden. You remember this?
I like
and by the way, we did actually on the stage with the Vice President of the United States back then. But nonetheless, I think there was a lot of criticism about that. And so I think there's now a renewed sense that given people's age, that we should be doing more in that space. I don't want to overstate it. It's not something I wrote, but I'm just trying to.
You had what was one of the greatest scandals of all time, that the coverage of the Biden administration, Joe Biden's diminished capacity, and the cover-up.
And that's why it's probably fair to raise these questions.
Where was the New York Times? We just had a 3-hour cabinet meeting yesterday, Andrew. For 10 months. The Biden administration did not have a cabinet meeting. How are you going to invoke the 25th Amendment?
I don't know. I don't fuck with Sorkin at all. He used to be a good reporter until they just it got so obvious that they're willing to just sell you out so quick. I see President Trump
more in a day than my predecessor saw Joe Biden in half a year.
All right, SPY hitting a low now. Again, down a couple components, getting weaker there.
One way or the other. I'm just saying I think it's a fair question.
And bond straight up.
Well,
yeah, equal weight's up by 0.5%, you guys. So equal weight Russell, Dow would be higher unless it was Microsoft.
You just wrote a book. People in 20, 30, 40, 50 years deserve to know what really happened, as opposed to
Google on the low.
Again, people send me these stories from the New York Times, and the headlines are not that different than the Daily Beast and the Huff Post.
Let's end this conversation on a subject that I think everybody on a bipartisan basis can probably agree upon.
Fed independent.
Which is that yesterday you announced what is called the Trump accounts. and Michael Dell
Dude,
and his
you know,
wife,
people got mad at the Trump accounts.
$6.25 billion.
I never thought I would still see the day.
Children, starting in
He's gonna
July,
say some dumb shit right
all
now.
across the country. What does that ultimately look like? And this is really one of the first sort of private-public efforts, because it's all going to be run by the Treasury. And I think your goal ultimately is to get philanthropists across the country to effectively give money through the Treasury to young Americans.
Yeah, I think that this is the beginning of a shareholder economy. If we look, 12% of Americans own 88% of equities. And then if you go down to the balance of 12,
yeah, but like, dude, you even see, like, I saw Wall Street people getting mad at it. I'm like, you guys are idiots.
And then the balance, if you go down to 50,
they were
the
just
other
like
12%,
criticizing. You guys really, people got mad at Michael Dell.
What
They're
we're
like,
seeing
he only
now,
did it for himself.
we've seen
I'm
this
like,
asset
duh,
appreciation.
But like, come
in
on,
America,
like, what are you guys?
either have
Why is
assets
this a
or you
bad
don't.
thing?
And
To
I think
give
that
60
this is
million
an
children
opportunity
long term.
For
how did we
American
get here, you guys?
People, for everyone to have a stake in the system, for everyone to be a shareholder. So for the next 5 years, every child who is born in the U.S. will get a $1,000 account that will be invested in the S&P. They cannot access until they're 18, so they will see the power of compounding. We are going to have, via Treasury, a huge amount of financial literacy. And I think that, again, when you see that people have a stake in the system, they don't want to bring the system down. The second component of that is Americans are the most generous and giving people in the history of the world, and there has never been a vehicle for them to be able to give directly to American children. So this incredible gift that Susan and Michael Dell is giving, they're actually not doing it for the children who are going to be born, they're doing it retroactively. And the $6.25 billion is going to work out to about $250 per account for children from the past 10 years. But I believe that we are going to see this incredible outpouring into these accounts. And we now have the greatest fortunes in the history of America. And this is the chance that
iRobot, the contract stayed the same
for
from the
a long time.
Make free, but
President Trump insisted on it being included in the one big beautiful bill.
That's stock, not the option.
That this is the opportunity for philanthropists, for foundations, and for corporates.
There's a lot of names up. Dow's
contribute
coming up a little bit.
to all the
American
American children, and you're going to be able to do it. You could do a school district. You could do a zip code. You could do a state. During the GFC, there was a panic among the billionaire class that people were going to come at them with pitchforks. So they did the Giving Pledge. And the Giving Pledge, while well-intentioned, was very amorphous. And now this is concrete. This is Michael and Susan saying $6.25 billion. And I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see people adopt states. I think we're going to see the school districts, and that children and families are going to be able to check on their phone that this is my piece of the American dream.
Mr. Secretary, I want to thank you. We are out of time. I could talk to you for a much longer time, and there's so many more questions. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
God, he's insufferable. Thank you, Mr. Besson. I love Besson. You know that? He's a great treasury. Let's see. We'll see if he sells us out in a couple years, but because he knows the game, if you couldn't tell. He knows everything. He knows everything going on, and he's not even afraid to say it. Like, he'll be like, he really does. He's a little too smart, man. Like, yeah, I think he's a little. That's why I'm worried, man. That's why I'm kind of worried. I feel like one day he'll be like, I know it. He might be the smartest in the room there. Not even just deal book, maybe even all of the White House. God bless America. So, long term. I don't know. I was muted, but I don't know if you guys heard it. But yeah, I think yesterday was a good day to add to the long term. I think you could see, because yesterday a lot of those value names, they came down. You had a really good opportunity to pick some of those up. So I hope you got a good one. I will have the video tonight or tomorrow. So either way, though, you'll get an idea. And here's the cool part about it, is that you get to, I think some of you got to avoid the Josh rush. I know some people have talked shit before, and they, oh, it only goes up because you bought it, the cult floor. Well, that doesn't exist anymore because now there's been a delay, right? So that gives you an opportunity. There wasn't any FOMO. I really like that. That was a good idea. And then now, too, if you really want to try to guess what I bought, if you're right, maybe you'll get rewarded. But then if you're wrong, you just wasted a deposit. And then if you try to switch it, that's not how you're supposed to do the long term. So I do hope that this highlights what you should have been doing and what to be doing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I think it's a very, very important thing. And I do hope that you guys have prepared. ISM services, that's the 52. Remember I said that was the other one, 52.6 versus 52. So I came in hotter. So that's why bonds are going down. It was reacting positively to the ADP. But yeah, spies should like that. Most of the data has been good. Hopefully PG. Well, that's the thing, man. I hope you're not hoping, and that's the only reason why you would have bought it. And that's what I think it's going to highlight, because once I tell you guys what I bought, some of you may have waited, and that's fine. But if you were trying to play that little front run game, I think some of you are going to, it should reveal to you whether or not you're doing it. Now, you don't have to tell me. I don't care if you tell me, but I do want you to really think about that. Because if you find out what I bought, whether it was the one you got or not, and then you're like, that's the only reason why you bought it, you did it wrong. Okay, guys? So that's what we're going to go. That's what we're going to go over. It was fun to guess, but you should let the portfolio speak. But yeah, I'm excited. You're grabbing Colgate. Well, I'm not asking anymore, so I don't want to know what you guys bought. Why? Because a lot of them have already moved now. Yesterday was a good day to buy. I think you could objectively see it compared to today. So we're not looking to solicit those today. If I do change my mind, I'll let you know. And now, do you guys want to go over the recap? Somebody said to go over my YouTube recap, because some of you guys, isn't it crazy? So if you watched 600 of my videos this year, then you got, you were in the top 1% of viewers. But then if you watched 1,200, you were in the 0.1. So, and then I went over it. So somebody asked me to do this, and I think it's kind of a good idea. They said go over my YouTube recap so you guys could see what's on my YouTube. And I think this is a good lesson too, because you guys should go over your YouTube recap. And depending on what you guys have on it, I think it says a lot. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, it's not hard to get into the top couple percentage points, but the difference between 1% and point run is a couple hundred. So go to your YouTube page and then hit the U tab right here. Go to the left side and hit U, and then it'll say 2025 recap. So yeah, okay, Spy Rip. I already made some plays today. They already fucking hit. So I hope y'all made a move already. But here it is. So yeah, here's mine. My top interests were tech product reviews, market analysis, new music, real estate. Some of these I didn't even research. I think it says mindfulness because of all the meditation music. I watched 488 channels this year. My top channel was Uncle Answers, then Remble, then the new music release, Draco the Ruler, and then Uncle Answers. Humble was my most played video. Oracle and Tesla on the high. I'm in the top 0.3 of Humble. I showed many different sides of myself. Tech savvy, new smartphone, AI tech, and computer hardware reviews. Not bad. I was resourceful. I was interested in personal finance and making the most of my money. Stock market trends, investment strategy, and financial planning tips. I never looked at any of those except my own channel. Philosophical discussions, literary analysis, and historical events. I'm very cultured. the sides of you, tech savvy, resourceful. Okay, let's get this going. Ready to see which type I am. I am the self-improver. So my YouTube relates to 2% of people. Drawing the content that helps you grow. I listen to music. My top songs was Juco Product by Remble, Humble, Heroes, and then 2 beats. Remble, Uncle, Draco, Uncle, and then a beat maker, Hood Will. You guys know Hood Will, I think, if you've listened. So isn't this great? Most likely to know stock market trends before your friends hear about them. That's correct. That's correct. So there you go. That's my recap, if you wondered. But honestly, bro, I liked watching that because I realized how much of a robot I am. I don't think I just music and then my own channel, and then when I look up certain data. So yeah, bro. I hope y'all aren't fucking filling your feeds with trash. Because you could send me yours. And again, I shout out to everybody who made it to the top percentages, man. You have no idea. That was good to see. That was good to see. And again, there's a big gap. There's a big gap between the 1 and the 0.1. So let's go, baby. Happy 2025. I wish we could throw in the long-term performance in that. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel me, bro. They don't feel me. Uncle Top, listen. That's it, bro. That's what I'm saying. I think somebody asked because you guys were like, what does he look up? I don't look up anything. I get it straight from the source. That's the idea. And then, yeah, man, there's so much trash nowadays. And then that makes sense, though. If my background, if just literally focused on there only relates to 2% of people, then, I mean, I guess it makes sense, algorithm-wise. Oh, that peach! Why can't I get a peach outline, bro? Oh, more likely to be consistent. Let's go, baby. Bradley, Frizzle, and the peach. Peach Nation. We wish you a Merry Peachmas. We wish you a Merry Peachmas. Wish you a Merry Peachmas. And I say 10%. That's amazing. His timing is impeccable. What's up with this? Oh, Lutnick says tariffs aren't to blame for negative ADP number. Predicts GDP over 4 in 2026. Prices don't move unless tariffs are above 15. Dollar Tree going up, and then Chipotle. You were a skill builder. I like it. I think mine, I don't know. It said I was like looking up certain things, but I'm like, I never looked that up. But yeah, it made say like mindfulness techniques. I think it's because of the meditation music every day. I think that's just the category. But yeah, it was kind of cool. Oh, he's on CNBC right now? I feel like Howard! I feel like we haven't heard Howard in a minute.
For the UK, they raise their prices. They're going to pay for drugs, so that makes it easier for our companies to lower the prices here. And then they're building in America. So this is a 3-year term while they build in America, and that's how it's going to work. That is the sort of the driven model of the Trump administration for pharmaceuticals. Build in America, cut your prices here, and we'll give you a break on tariffs while you do it.
Do you think that could work for Europe, which also, I mean, they manufacture a lot of drugs in
U.S. to restrict like visas over religious freedom violations?
As part of those discussions?
Pizza.
Well,
again, food plays from like Bungie to Chipotle and now pizza going up.
Got
that iRobot one ripped. It went crazy on. Again, I think Tesla's the real rumor play on that when you find it out. Eli Lilly kind of dumping. They may be at that Alzheimer's stuff.
We roll on to the next thing. And I was just in Brussels last week, and I was talking to them. You know, they very much
GM on the high again. People reacted a lot to the
and I said, look, you got to lay off our tech companies. You know, there's a balance. These are trade deals. You got to trade for the best outcomes for America.
Is there any indication that they'll do that? They've been pretty dug in on that, on those technology rules.
Well, I think their technology rules are costing them big time. I mean, you have the investment dollars available for these giant tech companies to build AI in their locations would be amazing if they laid off these rules. And what I tried to tell them is, if you follow Donald Trump's rules, then you're going to get investment the way Donald Trump gets investment. right? $18 trillion committed to America. You know, if you have ridiculous rules, you're going to get ridiculous outcomes. So rethink your outcomes, and so you'll get much more AI development. I mean, that's what I pointed out to the UK, $4 billion of tech investment in the UK. While that sounds nice, it could have been $24 billion if they just had the same kind of rules that President Trump has put in place in America, encouraging development, encouraging building, encouraging growth of AI instead of attacking it like these European economies.
I mean, keep us posted on that. The Europeans love regulation, especially on tech, which we've been covering over recent years. So what's the plan with all of these sort of deals and frameworks, Mr. Secretary? If the Supreme Court does knock down the legality of the reciprocal tariffs?
Well, we're going to win the case. I think I'm confident. I was there. I sat there. I listened to the whole case. I think we win 5-4 or 6-3 because I think the president's absolutely right. You know, he's allowed to regulate importation. That's the rules. He can do it with a fee and a tariff. I think that is perfectly
It's funny, we stopped hearing about
However, we have other tools as well.
I feel like they're going to do it next year,
like
right
rules,
around
like this building
Japanese
has
yen
232 tariffs, which
and then bonds coming
went
back up
the
after the
Supreme
data.
Court, and we won 9-0.
NVCR, is that a cancer
autos,
drug or
that's
that might be a vaccine?
semiconductors, that's steel and aluminum.
But yeah, bonds are
that's
going
lumber.
back up today.
So
They
all
reacted
those
to the
stays,
ADP. You
all
had
those big
again
trade
another
deals, I
negative
think, are
ADP,
durable,
but it was
and
small
they will
businesses,
stay.
big businesses.
And I think if
they had job increases.
The unfortunate thing happens, the crazy thing happens where the Supreme Court didn't side with the president, which I think they will, then we have other tools and we'll put them right in place. Tariffs are here to stay. The deals are here to stay. Everyone should expect this is the way it's going to be. America's going to be richer. Would it be a pain in the tail? Of course it would. But will it change the outcome for America? You know, I think our ability to replace them is okay. I prefer and I expect that the IEEPA tariffs will stay.
I mean, I do wonder if businesses are hedging. I'm sure you noted that Costco became the largest and most high-profile company to sue the administration to get in line for tariff refunds if the Supreme Court doesn't go your way. What's your reaction to that?
Well, look, it's someone getting in line saying, if I'd like some money, I get it, but it's not going to happen. I am confident it's not going to happen, and we will have tariffs no matter what going forward.
What about Taiwan? I know you've been in the middle of negotiating this one too, and we're watching. Of course, it's important with chips, and not all the chip makers
bonds
pay the
are getting
tariffs,
a little bit more active.
because
We see
they're
move
building plants
because
here,
again, last few days the bond moves have been pretty
them
large.
Training U.S. workers to build advanced semiconductors as part of the trade deal. Is that true? And where are you on this?
I might pop after today.
Well, I'm not going to discuss where we are with the Taiwan deal because we're in the midst of discussions.
Albemarle on the low, restoration on the high. Actually, a decent pop on restoration, $1.80.
Semiconductor manufacturing to America, right? When we walked in the door, all there was the CHIPS Act, and that really was just a disaster. It wasn't working. So we reshuffled the deck. We changed the way we did anything. You remember TSMC announced a $100 billion.
All right, man. Kind of like yesterday, though. You're already really right back
Arizona,
to this
up to
open.
$165
They
billion.
did this a couple times yesterday.
Invested more.
Again, we're not out of
Texas
here, and then
Instruments
consider the
invested more.
move
So we're
off
up to like $300 billion
Microsoft in the AM.
America. I think when we do a deal with Taiwan, that's even going to be bigger. And of course, they're going to train American workers. The whole objective is to bring the supply chains to America, build semiconductors in America, build pharmaceuticals in America, train Americans to do it, and let's have that supply chain right here in America. That's the entire objective.
Piece in Politico this morning, Mr. Secretary, about a potential maybe executive order next year regarding robotics. Can you give viewers a sense as to how far down the runway you're looking on AI?
Well, I think, look, robotics and edge computing, which you think about it is, you've all seen like a modern auto plant, right? When you think about robotics,
Tesla.
It's really the arms that do the welding and the arms that do the screwing and those kind of things, like you have an auto plant. This is why America can reshore advanced manufacturing, right? We don't have millions and millions of people to work and do little screwing in things, but we can bring advanced manufacturing
Zillow,
here
Crowd, wasn't Crowd post
5,000 Americans, doing the technician, doing the air conditioning systems. These are high-tech incredible technical jobs that pay incredibly well. We're going to train Americans to do this. This is the workforce that's coming. And I think robotics, drone manufacturing, chip manufacturing, pharmaceutical manufacturing, these are going to be the linchpin of American advanced manufacturing.
Amazon about to go into the low.
We keep having
Tesla's
this conversation with you at this desk.
Meta gave it up too.
This notion of reshoring manufacturing,
so yeah, bro, we might play out like the last couple days here, unless we get something. But you've already gone through all of the data.
How many workers can legitimately repair or maintain these machines?
I think they're going to announce the auto
you
stuff.
understand that tension,
yesterday,
right?
But then they announced the kids' accounts. So Trump is going to come on today,
look,
I think.
A semiconductor plant is a $20 billion automated plant, right? It's a clean room. But there's 4,000 people
UNH and now Whirlpool.
Plant, and they're building 10 of them, TSMC, right? So that's a 30 to 40,000 person jobs. And these are great jobs, but they're technical jobs, right? They're fixing robotics. They're working on air conditioning systems.
All right, we balanced out 22 green on the Dow and 8 in the red. But again, a lot of them, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Caterpillar, Amazon. That's what's bringing the Dow down, but the Dow's still good. Big portion of the Dow is up today.
You have to get the pipes in perfect location,
NASDAQ 63 green, 38 in the red. So again, a decent amount in the green as well. And then SPY 360 green, 120ish, 130ish in the red. So it's like 400 off the bat, but slowed down here just under an hour.
Donald Trump has brought the investment of $18 trillion. Now we have to train
the workforce. He didn't confirm or deny the rumor. No, he just brought up auto plants and robotics there, but yeah, he didn't really say anything. That's what I was saying this morning. It's going to be like half true, half false. You guys should be trained on this by now. Ever since, remember, we killed a lot of the rumor headlines in the beginning of the year. And then once everybody started picking up on it, you started watching these staffers and all these other people get a little shady. So usually you'll get like a report. It'll be halfway true, halway false. It'll be in the neighborhood. It won't be exactly what was released. And then there's going to be one hype play that moves off of it, and then there'll be a real winner off of it when essentially it comes out. You remember like the oils, the food oils, IVF. There was a lot of those plays this year.
It was trying to steal the money. We recaptured all the money, and now we can use that money to invest in companies that will advance manufacturing in America. So X-Lite, as an example,
is good. It's not bad. I think it calculates how many videos you watch.
Right?
Or even if, because it said I watched 700 Uncle Answers videos, but he doesn't have 700.
That's how you paint sort of the chips.
But then also too,
chips, right? Silicon comes
the difference between like that 1% and 2% or like 0.12 is like another 600 videos.
Chip that goes in your iPhone,
so you could be in the top 1%.
So the X-Lite is trying to
still watch only half of the videos.
And do it with
which makes sense to a lot of degrees if you think about some of the changes we made.
But we do lots of diligence. We have lots of experts.
Like I said, it's pretty easy to fall behind in a certain way.
If it's going to help America and companies are backing it and behind it, then we're interested in being involved, because we need to make sure America stays at the forefront of technology and chip production.
Yeah, I mean, I know you mentioned at the cabinet meeting yesterday that how much we're up on the Intel investment, which is something that we hadn't covered, and that's good for American taxpayers. But what's
Intel is coming back up
with some of these investments?
It hit another 52-week high today. This would have been one, and then it sold.
Well, generally speaking, the government just wants to make sure they're a winner. They've got the tools necessary. Remember, this is for chip production, right? You have the greatest companies in the world, like Google with their TPU and NVIDIA with their GPU. We're not giving money to those companies. Those are design companies. We're talking about manufacturing in America. We're interested in manufacturing in America. The next generation of power in America, fusion technology, fission technology, right? Nuclear technology. These are the places where we want to make sure America's got the power here. And the exit will be simple. If these companies are successful, they'll go public, or they'll have a round and we'll exit. The exit isn't going to be easy if they're successful. And because we see everything, we can
Oscar's starting to go up again. Healthcare is pretty solid today.
Remember, this money was already allocated. We're just doing so much of a better job. When we put out money, we get equity that pays.
All right, man, everything's
back.
starting to work up a little bit. Even the NASDAQ's coming up. Only down by 0.1 now. And again, the Dow would be ripping. SPY is green. Eco8 is running by a decent margin. So 493 is winning today. And now the rest are starting to play along.
And making sure the American taxpayer gets the benefit of the bargain.
All right, well, speaking of the market, before we let you go, I always have to ask you for an update on Fannie and Freddie. So when can we expect that IPO? Is it something you can get done by first quarter? Because I think last time you were on a few months ago, you said that it was a sooner rather than later story.
Fannie's moving on that.
It is a sooner rather than later story. I think that's exactly right. I mean, I would like to see that, but this is a full administration discussing it, working it through. But we are well down the road on getting a deal done with Fannie and Freddie, and I am excited about its prospects going forward. I think these are great American companies that produce great cash flow, but the key is we want to keep the mortgage rates low for America. The fundamental first driver is let's keep mortgage rates as low as possible. We've got a lot of ideas in the offing, and that's bringing them all together to drive mortgage rates down. Remember, you've got first-time mortgage buyers because of the Biden inflation, 40 years old. That is just broken. When Donald Trump left office, they were 33 years old, the average home buyer. And then because of Biden's inflation, it went up to 40. Donald Trump is on it, and we're going to focus on that kind of opportunity together with the agencies going public. I think we're going to do some amazing things.
Q1? Is it a Q1 story?
10. No, don't get me started.
I'll leave that to the announcement later.
By the way, one way to get mortgage rates, or at least the president thinks to lower, is the Fed. And are you involved in this process?
Yeah, Fannie's tweaking off of that, but it won't move. I think those candles are real.
Of course, he asked my opinion, but he has a really good list. He's narrowed that down really, really, really small, and I think he's got great choices. And I'm excited for the change because Jerome Powell is just political. He's just political, and it's ridiculous, right? Rates should be lower in America. We all know it. They should be lower, and it will make America better to have lower interest rates.
What did you tell him when he asked your advice? Who did you recommend?
He had great names. I know all the people that he was looking for. I had spent time with them all, and I had and I told him what I thought. But that's between me and the president.
All right, fair. I had to ask. Secretary Howard Lutnick, thank you very much for talking us through a lot on your portfolio, from trade to investments to housing. That is the Commerce Secretary of the United States.
When we come back this morning, a potential canary in the coal mine for the AI trade. We'll talk about this report about demand sending Microsoft shares lower this morning.
You got Bessent, you got Lutnick, you had the rumored, you had the Microsoft bad news, which I don't know, I think kind of brushed off a little bit. And then you had the reverse of yesterday. So again, 493 is definitely winning. You had a little gift there on some of the what's it called? You had a lot of the values and staples. They got a gift on that yesterday, and they came back. Bitcoin's starting to sell, but Bitcoin's had a good 2-day streak after the terrible Monday. And then healthcare's coming up as well too. I know there was a lot. It's not going too crazy though. That's the nutty part. We're still in Chop City. I mean, it's great to be above 6,800. I mean, you could give that up in a second, though. But, yeah, it's decent. But remember, that whole setup we talked about, even 2018. So I recorded the long-term video, and I talk about some of the financial stuff. But even some of the financial stuff hasn't disappeared with rates and lending and all that. So we're going to see. But it's, unfortunately, at this pace, because if tomorrow's bad, Thursdays are usually bad. But if it's not a good day tomorrow, yeah, PayPal's dying. You said Square didn't move as much. It looks like PayPal's getting hit a little harder. Check PayPal. You're down, not 1% yet, but those could move. I'll leave it for you if you want it. Those haven't gone too crazy yet, but some are up like 30. Omana, and then UNH. Fink is on the way. Is it going to be a deal book? Oh, he's already started? Deal book summit. Speaking now, Brian Armstrong and Larry Fink. So Coinbase. PayPal getting clapped again now. That just doubled up that loss. 0.7 to 1.4 now. All right. If you took them, one went up 100%, but it's only on the ask. Remember, it's Wednesday. R, Flex, We Buy, Sony. Who's the other one? Walmart's going up. Some of the staples chilled out. PayPal conference now. Aviva Healthcare is doing good. Some more than others. And then Eli's. I guess Eli only down 0.8 though after a wild month. I think PayPal's at a conference. So yeah, I don't see a headline yet. Remember, there's two. I think it's a Morgan Stanley one today. And then a lot of consumer names are going to be at these conferences as well too. Let's see. Yeah, UBS Global Tech and AI Conference. December 3rd. That's for PayPal. So yeah, PayPal's talking at the conference. They've already doubled down there. So you got 100% now. 200 on now. Shit. That one, I left it for you if you wanted it. Those Square and PayPals, bro, if you get them on the quick enough and it actually makes it move, those actually get a bid, but they don't last. So make them free. They all had good earnings, PayPal and Square. But then again, they've also been kind of in Trap City. Remember, they had a good earnings and they just flipped it. And then we'll see too, man, what happens next year. I talk about it in the video. So I think I'll get it out today. I'll do my best. But just remember next year. So like even any of these plays, good or bad, you really, like you guys know the whole slick charts. I could remind you guys again to go over the components in the S&P because this is going to come up next year. So make no mistake, this isn't just like a short-term thing that we are talking about. And you will notice, some of these opportunities you see today or what's not an opportunity or what was an opportunity, it's going to move around. And you are going to get this opportunity next year. And that's something too, man. I don't really talk about this in the video, but I do think you guys should get ready for next year, man. The video yesterday, Philo, if nothing has convinced you yet, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can save you, bro. But, like, you really got to get ready for next year and think about it because, like, even the Michael Dell, the Trump accounts, like, these are all next year. Even some of these rumors today with, like, robotics, he mentioned some other things. I'm surprised Lutnick even brought up fission and fusion. You guys remember I was telling you guys about that? And, like, some of those other ones besides. So it's very, very good. But it's just, like, you do got to start thinking about next year. And there might be a whole nother set of catalysts, and then stuff you already know about is going to come into play. 100% on Intel shares. Like, why? What the fuck? Why are you flexing on us, bro? We did what? Why don't you go like somewhere else and tell them, and then be like, yeah, shout out the cult. I joined the cult, and I bought Intel before the government, and NVIDIA, and Massa, and everybody. But yeah, or you could flex on us. We all got it, I think. I don't know though, and that's why too, man. Because I do think remember, I spent all year on the trading fraternity. I was like, this is how you get the long-term stuff. This is where you find it. So I think one video does simplify it for all of you. So I look forward to it. But yeah, man, I'll go tell a friend. But most people in here, they know that I was trying to be, they know I was trying to be the Intel CEO, man. That was my mission. And then I got a farm. I became a farmer instead. Intel, don't tell. United States Army. Well, yeah, Intel is good, bro. I'm glad. Because that's very quick, man. Not too often. Like, we've hit 100%ers in the long... What the fuck, Intel? Look at what you did, Jesus. Man. But... it's, yeah, you don't really get those gains that fast. So that one was it's kind of crazy to think, you guys. It was just, what, a couple months ago? Doesn't it feel like a long time? You guys know it was only like 3 months ago. Like 4 months tops. Oh, that's disgusting. Trump Truth Social victory for Matt Epps and wonderful family last night. Great state of Tennessee. PayPal, we continue to see macro pressure. You know what I want. I know, we did. We really sat. We sat on it for like a year and a half. Like we established the position way earlier, but it was, we did go pretty much all in. I saved, 4 or 5 months of cash, and we threw it all in on Intel. It sucks because it did end up, I don't know if it is the diamond. I still think it's a gem. That's what I've been saying, but you know, it all worked out well. But that's why you had you have more. You just had more if you established it earlier. Just like yesterday, it was $18. Dude, I know. It really wasn't that long ago, man. That chart will scare you if you put it up, because you're gonna be. It feels like it was just ages ago we were talking about this, because we kind of were, but like not really. Like it's just that really just happened. Do you think we should keep adding to Intel? So go back to what I just said. You know, we went big on it, so thankful, and then we already were buying it when it was lower. So that's what helped alleviate that. But do you really not know the answer? You know, it depends how you, and believe me, like if you haven't noticed, I'll definitely like try to encourage learning here. But then like if you keep answering with like, and I go through the chat facts, I might ban you. I'm not going to ban you yet, but do you really not know the answer? Because I asked this because I want to make sure you guys get this. Because what I saw yesterday was kind of, it was surprising, but then also kind of typical. But that's why too, man. Like, this is exactly why I cleaned up the chat. I don't want people to get confused, and I want it to be so simple. And because it's good guidance, it's good direction, and it's just an easy way to stay in the game for the long run. But do you know the answer, guys? So we buy a stock 4 months ago. You're up anywhere from 80 to 112%. Should you buy more of it after it doubles? Do you think that will, what should you do? A, buy more in dollar cost average. B, do nothing. Or C, find another play. What would you do? Where's fucking Mr. Quintanilla? What would you do? I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna randomly show up at your guys' jobs and be like, oh, I bought this stock. What should I do? Yeah, the answer is C. If you don't have a lot of cash, maybe you could get away with B. But yeah, the C. What you want to do is, this is the age-old thing, and I'm telling you, man, this helped my life out a lot. It sucks because sometimes, like, think about it. We bought Meta at $90, and we could have averaged up on it, and I did average up once we run out of options. You know, that's exactly what we did with Abivai. Even IRM, I don't know if you guys recall, but there has been cases we bought higher, but the market was heavily correlated, and there was just a different set of opportunities. SPY is ripping. Hi, Microsoft back up. I think Microsoft's going to probably negate the article from the morning. Yeah, Microsoft moving. Breaking news. Microsoft has no... What? Yeah, Microsoft's refuting the article in the morning. Ta-da! Yeah, it hasn't hit the wire yet. And then Trump announcing full pardon of Texas Congressman Henry Sawyer and Imelda something. But yeah, Microsoft's refuting it.
for growth targets. That is way different than sales quotas. So a little bit of nuance here.
Yeah, they're saying growth targets, not sales target.
Did correct their headline or change their headline rather based on this.
All right, so bad news. So think about it. That was in the morning. This is where you started off before that. So Microsoft might have like 1% left in it. Where did they start? Damn, that was at 491. Yeah, so they refuted it or they changed it. They said there's a difference. That's going to help you out. Now Nvidia is going up. I'm sure all of the tech might start getting a bid. But see, today does seem more about the staples. Nvidia got a candle too. It's off Microsoft. So that's the thing. Remember, Microsoft, because again, it's all related to AI. That's what brought them down, everybody in the morning here. And then the staples or value, all those other names are doing great. Yeah, even CoreWeave's going up too. So there you go. And now you're hitting a high. I mean, it's very small. You were higher on the pre-market, but that should help out for a little bit. You're trying to hold the deposit to get back to 20? You don't have to. Honestly, I mean, I would tell you at this point, I don't think that's a good idea. So I do think, as it depends though too though, like if you're buying dog shit or you're buying like really high priced stuff, maybe you should wait. But I don't. BlackRock think the U.S. moves faster on AI and tokenization. Digitizing assets will reduce financial system friction. But yeah, like coming into next year, more rate cuts, all of these plans that are coming into play. If you're going to be buying high quality at the ones that are underperformed, man, I think you're going to be better off than holding your cash. Now, at the same time, certain instances might make your cash a little bit more valuable. But, you know, the whole 20% is not a target. Do you understand? And I hope none of you make this mistake. You're not supposed to hold 20% cash. That's just your max. That's how you know you're being too greedy. And you would think being greedy means buying everything. It also means holding so much cash you're not investing. Again, if you're on a 10-year target, you really got to think about that. You know, we were holding cash as we were waiting for these names to pull apart, and they did. And we were going through a pretty uncertain time here at the beginning of the year, and we were already fully invested, and it was working. So I wouldn't necessarily aim for 20%. You just have to know that what 20% means. 20% is a lot of cash, and that's a good way to get left behind. So, but at the same time, you're not supposed to have FOMO. But that's why I'm saying high quality at low prices, underperformers. It's a very big gift right now. So I wouldn't hesitate. Do not be timid. Nivda and Mistafov. EIA data. EIA imposes fresh sanctions on Venezuela. Oklo. There's a couple names going down, but other than that, you're kind of broadening out a little bit. And then tech. A little bit of broadening, mostly tech. I love these LT combos. I do too, man. I'm very excited. And I think just, again, more and more time we spend, it's just crazy how it's growing, bro. And you're going to get some good things. Where is it? Oh, Maria Barr is coming up. Selling covered calls? No. I mean, you can if you want, but most people, like I'm saying, even yesterday, I was trying to make it easy for you guys on the S&P, but everybody wants to go one step extra, and that's usually out of bounds. So covered calls aren't bad, but the way I'm viewing the future, the current setup and everything, I think you're better off buying a dividend stock of high quality that will secure that same yield you'll probably get out of a covered call. Maybe one day we could talk about it, but for now, I mean, I think the sky is the limit, as Lil Wayne says. And I would rather secure the money in something, I'm thinking 10 years out. And you want to be careful to not fall for these all these little traps to make a little bit more money. And again, I would just keep it simple, follow the rules, and it'll be great. That's why too, I don't know, I think we should turn the farm into a rehab center. A gambling, not following the rules rehab center. Would you guys be interested? We could start with like 5 rooms. You could come out there, live there for 3 to 6 months, and I'll just show you what happens if you just follow the rules. That's it. So all the money you would have gambled, you just put it in a separate account, and then it just grows because there's no chance of losing it, right? And then you get like a physical activity. You do all of that's all there. It's just all there for good habits. Because like I was thinking about it here, I'll show you the long term, man. Let's continue this long-term talk. Find one more. LEU met C. Crude inventories 574. Estimate was draw. Trump makes announcement at 12:30. Oh, it's only 7:40. Yeah, CNBC, they said Microsoft, correct. AMD's going up too. I forgot about that one. And then Tesla. No, bro, I'm telling you, just simply following the narrow road. It's a narrow road for a reason. You don't have to do anything except, Charlie Munger will tell you this, man. All you got to do is stay alive. You guys realize that, right? That's it. Charlie Munger will tell you to invert everything. Right? When he was working as he was working at the Army as a weatherman, and he said how he did his job so well. He was like, I thought of every way I could kill him. He said, how would I kill somebody at my job? The easiest way to kill him. And then once he found out how it failed, he just got obsessed with how to not fail in that area. And then boom, you'll get the craziest results. Average thinking, prodigious results. That's what he says. Super great. Because that's what I'm trying to show. That's why I think a rehab center would be great. Because I think some of y'all would be shocked with what you're touching and what you're doing, that if you just simply kept it and put it in the right place and avoided the easy failure, let alone the medium failure, and most of the failure is through two little actions. You guys don't see it? That's what I'm saying. It's like S&P, I'll do the same exact thing, just not on the S&P. Okay, let's get something, and then one covered call. And then one thing here, one thing there. Now a limit turns into a goalpost. All these little things are ways that you could just fail at it. And that's what I'm saying. If you find a way to not do that, you're going to be so shocked at what you could create. I don't think the watch list helps this focus. Don't. Stop fucking around. Don't try to bring that in. Are you trying to get laid? You sound like me when I was trying to get laid, and I would just say whatever. But that's not, I don't think the watch list has to do with it. Because like I'm saying, these are rules that I'm telling y'all now, and I have told you. But it's very easy to you want something. You want something in your head, and now you're following 90% of the rule, and then that 10% is throwing you off. But this is what I wanted to show you, because, like, look. You guys remember, we're rebuilding the long term. Does that sound familiar? Do you see this? So that was the big one, then we turned it to a farm. You remember, it's at $12,000. Pretty cool, right? So that was after we did the farm. But are you ready for this? It's at 26,000. Now, guess what? Did we do anything really crazy? No. If anything, most of the plays I added went down or stayed the same. How the fuck did it get up to 26,000? It's simple. The fucking deposit. Somebody like, oh, you deposited. I know, motherfucker, and I kept it. You understand? Do you see what's going to happen to your account if all you do is save 10% and let it at minimum just grow without failing? You get what I'm saying? Again, yeah, in that same time, I don't know, when was this? 3 months ago. So Intel did double up. Because remember, we got to take it, and we got, I think I used the first Intel on there. We used it on the big account, on the smaller account. So yeah, I had to even sell some of that, and I didn't have as much in Intel. I only used whatever cash I had, I threw it in there. So one big gainer, the rest didn't do shit, even went down. But look, it just slowly got, and that's it. I haven't made anything then, and then we add again, deposit after deposit. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Stay out of the traps. If you're getting that deposit and putting it in, it's going to grow. And then before you know it, your position gets stronger and stronger. You get your basis. And then, yeah, you're there. You're good to go. You're good to go. So, yeah, good luck. But, man, I'm telling you, it's so easy. It's so easy, bro. But I hope you feel me, man. I really hope you feel me. So that's all you gotta do in life. Just avoid the failure. But that's why I think a lot of people will be surprised. And then you're gonna get confidence. So again, you keep it for a couple of months, keep it for a year, you protect it, find a way to save it, protect it, grow it adequately in ways with more upside than downside, but mainly stability. Oh, dude, it's gonna grow. And then you're gonna get confident. And then you're gonna have money instead of being in the reverse. What happens when you lose it? You lose your confidence and you're in a weaker position because you have less money. But then if you get confident, and then now you have more money, think about it. You're going to move a lot stronger. You're going to move a lot better. So that's why. All you got to do is just stay in bounds. It's find the ways you're going to fail. Find the easiest way to fail and just reverse it. That's it. Most people have a difficulty saving. The next one is gambling. And then the next one is doing nothing. All you got to, that's it. So reverse them. Start saving if people don't do that. If gambling causes losses and people don't hold it, do the opposite. Again, if people do nothing and watch opportunity go by, what's a way to fix that? Small actions. Small good decisions. So yeah, man. I hope you feel me. That right there will get you so far. And that's why I'm saying it's like, some people just got to see that. That's what we've done here for a while. But, I think the world moves fast and you have so much other noise. It's easy you always need a refresher on that. And that's why I'm saying I like the rebuild. And rebuild, we only did simple stuff. But yes, it's all the deposits. But that's the point. I know a lot, but you didn't grow it. We did grow it. Intel did very nice. And that was a great rebuild to start with. I'm so glad that we did. But it's like, dude, you gotta really, if you just keep your fucking money, dog, don't give it to the scoundrels. Don't let it depart easily. Put it in just solid places. Again, little actions. That's why, Sweet Greens, Chipotle, it didn't do that well. Those went down. Those are down. Even NVO, down. But they were smaller. NVO was a little bigger. We had bigger actions on the good. But then anything on the rebuild that was smaller, as that account pretty much doubled again. It was all because of deposits and not exposing ourselves to money disappearing. So it's beautiful, Chad. So I hope you do it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I spoke to you without knowing. I haven't listened to you in months. Just log back on. Good. Well, what brought you here today? Would you like to make an altar call? But yeah, man, I encourage you all. It's been a wild year, and I don't know, go through your YouTube recap and see what y'all fucking watching. Because, like, I'm telling you, man, it's you always need a refresher on this. And I think a lot of people forget. And that's okay. I'm not trying to judge y'all. I'm really not. I am trying to get the mission accomplished. But it's so easy to just, if you simply give the money away, that right there is the difference between if you did nothing with good small actions, it's going to get you what you need and what you want. Committing to increasing your deposit. Oh, dude, we're increasing the deposit next year. How many of you are going to be able to do it? So we stopped increasing the deposit on the big account because I don't think that account is realistic. It is for some, but yeah, we would have been at like $4 or $5 grand a month now, I think, or $4 grand almost. But yeah, I think the small account we're going to increase by 10%. Because that was the goal. The goal is to save 10% and then, again, have a pattern of trying to save more. You know, that's the general idea there. Because we started at $200. So we started at $200 a month and then raised it 10% every year to $220 to $240 to $260. And then, yeah, we're at the $300 now. So I think we'll be at $330 next year. Can I reveal the new long-term pickup, please? No, because it's revealing a lot to you right now. That's what I said this morning? Because I think it's really showing some of y'all whether or not that you're like doing it the real way. And that's why, because again, if somebody, those who try to front run, those who only try to trade it, those who aren't really looking at their portfolio, it's going to highlight this. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to I want realness. I want real efficacy, effective. And that's why it's like, once you find out what I bought, if you start switching up, changing, this, then you did it wrong. That's not what's going to get you there. So eventually I'll reveal it. But right now, I think it's revealing a lot about your strategy and where you're at now. Halfway to the goal, 5 years, 6 years in, how are you really operating this now? So I should have it tonight, but we'll see. You've been watching for months, and I keep it real, and you enjoy the philos. Well, welcome. But if you have watched for months, I'm going to assume that you know the rules. All right. So keep it good, and you'll be good. No, Colt's sister doesn't raise her deposit. She's never raised her deposit, actually. So let's go see Colt's sister. Her account's killing it, though. PG on the high. Ford, Trump to meet with Trump and Duffy. So yeah, that's the announcement. Remember the auto thing yesterday? So Ford, GM moved more. This one might fade a little bit, but it's the same headline as yesterday, essentially. one of them kind of leaked. It might have, or I may have put that there on purpose. Maybe to, like I said, if you get the right one, you might get rewarded. But if you pick the wrong one with thinking that, it might backfire. So be wise is the best advice I could give. So yeah, here's the other account. Here's Colt's sister, dude. You like, even if you're a liberal, you could still succeed extremely well. So this is Colt's sister. I think her account's what, a couple $100 from all-time highs? So is the other account now too, but yeah, this never raised the deposit. So this account is a constant $200 a month. Wanted to quit at the lows, started late, started 2 years late, missed out of Meta and a couple of others, tried to back out twice, and the deposit has never raised. So this account is $200 a month. So that if you make $24,000 a year, both pre-tax or maybe after tax, however you want to look at it, this is what this account would look like. So her account's not going to go up. I don't think she's ever going to raise the deposit. So yeah, we'll raise the other, and then that's why too you get to see the difference with the other ones. But yeah, you are going to, this will be an example of never raising it. But like I'm telling you, bro, it's kind of crazy. Same exact setup, but all you got to, again, she just kept it. This is why I wanted my sister to see the same thing I just told you guys. You know, she spends her money. She doesn't have the gambling problem. She has the inaction problem and not saving, right? All this account showed is what would happen if you saved and made little moves. That's it. A couple times, once a month, if that. And yeah, did very, very good. Again, she wanted to quit right here. So that would have been another, what, $5,000, almost 50% difference on her account if she gave into the news media this year. But other than that, though, it's still, even without, you don't have to raise your deposit. I think you should. And those of you who have raised the deposit and the people that I have seen raise the deposit, they have done extremely well. And I've seen their lives exponentially get better because it's raising the standard for themselves. I'm being dead ass serious too. I've watched the guys who I've seen aggressively raise their deposit. That means they've gone out to make more money. They found ways to increase their income so that they could save more, and then they put it to work, let the compounding do its thing, got inspired by it, and they kept to the rules. So you don't have to do it. You'll still get great results without ever raising it, but raising it is how you're going to really start to speed up the process, as well as, you know, get a little bit more confidence. And once again, you're just keeping more money. You're getting stronger. I do like not knowing. I think it does. That way, you know, you guys, you knew I bought yesterday. You know, yesterday was a good buying day. I think you could kind of even see it today. And again, there was a lot of value out there. And you got a discount on a lot of staples to wake up. But it is, there's no rush. That's what I love it. You guys aren't going to have to FOMO. You don't have to decide, and you got time to think about it. And now, you know, and not everyone, again, maybe when I put out the video, everybody will rush to it, but you got to decide what's best for you. And now you're not doing it in a high pressure scenario. Like I said, I'm not trying to influence you. I'm really trying to teach you, you know, and that way you could really focus and make that decision without any of the noise. That's the idea. But you should have, again, you know where we're shopping from, you know the guidelines, and that's why I kind of, it's the first time I've ever done it. It's fun. Did she learn anything? My sister? I don't know. I genuinely, I mean, most people, when their money increases and they like get into investment, it does change them a little bit. But I mean, sadly, I think my sister got worse. But then again, she lives in San Francisco. She's very, she's really in that bubble. Like I said, she wanted to quit right during the Liberation Day, and I think she was being influenced by things, whether or not she wants to admit it. But then also too, just not too long ago, she wanted to quit when it was hitting an all-time high. So the moment the fear got there, she wanted to back out. And then the minute that the fear didn't materialize, she wanted to back out. So I don't know if she's learned anything, to be honest. I think she's learned something, but I don't know. It's a great question. Sipping on some long term. GL, and then UNH still going, Ford still going. Again, that one kind of we already know about it. Why does she want to sell? No, I told you guys, I shared it with you all year. It's just like, and this is why, like, dude, I've seen it, and I've seen it in so many people, but it's just this like society, man. And like, if you're really around a lot of noise and you take in a lot of garbage, it's gonna fuck with you. I don't care how strong you think you are, and myself included. And it's like, it really just, she got really involved in the I think something got her ear, and it really was motivating her to make some bad decisions. NVIDIA, Wong is entering the Speaker Johnson's office. So yeah, I tell her the same thing every time. I tell her, if you want to sell, you buy a house. But yeah, it's she got, I think last time she said she was like discouraged about something, and then she said she wants to sell everything and move to Palestine. And then the first time she said at Liberation Day, she said it's because she said she's not a millionaire. Shouldn't she stop investing in the 401k and things are bad? So again, I mean, these are like mainstream comments. I think she was exposed to a lot of the news, and like I'm saying, living in San Fran, I kind of know her social circle. She wouldn't have been able to do anything if she kept it. She has a 401k. She wanted to stop her 401k at Liberation Day. So she wanted to stop the long term and her 401k. I told her that's not a good idea. And like I told her, and I'll tell all of you, I told her at the moment, bro, presidents are going to change. There's going to be another president in a couple years, right? There was another president before this time. So don't make permanent decisions off of temporary situations. And that's kind of the idea there. So you don't have, that's why I'm saying it's there's a real power in the markets. That's why I do like the child accounts. And like, we're thinking really, really long out there. We're thinking well beyond, and there might be things that frustrate you and you don't like, but solid investments in holding, and things are going to change, and let there be a new president, but your financial future, you got to put yourself in the right position, and you got to take care of yourself. And like I'm saying, this shouldn't be overbearing. It's not like, her 401k, her $200 a month, this wasn't getting in the way of anything, right? All it would do would help her. That's why, again, even leading up to that moment, her money was already doubled, right? And she already was complaining about, oh, how do I make money? How do I win? Things are so expensive. All those same things everybody goes through. And it's just like, the little actions it's only going to benefit you. But yeah, you let the wrong thing in, or you kind of lose sight of that and focus on the temporary rather than the long term, then it's easy to get distracted. Thank you, my friend. Merry Chrism. Are you guys ready? I can't wait. Thank you for your all the donos legal, but thank you for the Christmas song you're gonna release. I look forward to it. I got to hear it just a little bit. XBI on the high again.
It's the best time of year, Chad. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, he only sent me like a 2-second clip. I don't think most people, I think it is a social phenomenon. We talked about it yesterday, bro. I don't think, like, some of you OGs, you remember it, bro. 2019, before the pandemic, it was glorious. I don't think y'all realize there was something happened in the world, and like young, middle-aged, old, it didn't matter. People were like, they really wanted financial information, and they wanted to do it the right way. I'm telling you, before options blew up, the wave was dividend stocks again, which is great. Last time there was a dividend revolution was like fucking in the 80s, dude. I'm telling you, it was mind-blowing. I loved it. That's how I popped up. Literally, we had options, and that's why we made the long term. And I'm telling you, people loved it. Even it didn't matter what side of the political spectrum you were on. People were like, oh yeah, wow, there's an opportunity. I could grow my money, I could save. And like, people liked the idea of it. Everything wasn't politicized. Everything wasn't out of reach. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really wasn't there. Oh yeah, Netflix is because of WBD. That's what it is. We went over that in the morning. They're seen as the top bidder. So if they're going to buy the company and seen as winning, the stock goes down. So yeah, to answer quickly. But dude, I'm telling you, man, it was crazy. Everybody, they love financial education was becoming popular. People loved it. And then I think it was the hot money. It was the gambling. But then here's the deal. Tell me this isn't it. Because look at the chart. I'm talking right. This was already high. People thought, again, from 2016 to 2020 to 2019, you went from what? 200 on the SPY to like 340. It went up like 50. It already was high. You know what I'm saying? It was already high. So people were already like, oh, damn, it's expensive, right? Remember, we would shop around? But I think it was this. I think it was everything kind of getting out of reach for a lot of people. Because now it wasn't like you missed 50%. Now you missed fucking 100%, 200%. And then, again, all the hot money, all the scams. Again, so many people didn't know options. They thought I was just pumping them. So then they're like, I'm going to pump them. That's literally what happened. And then a lot of people started going. But then, dude, it was so, we were so close, you guys. I'm telling you, the world was ready for it. Everybody loved investing. And there was all the everybody's like, I want to get money. I want to save money and invest it. And then, yeah, but I think it just got out of reach. I think the hyperinflation or the inflation, I think it made it very difficult. And I think it led to people going from, why would I go slow? Why? And then again, like I'm telling you, though, the sad part is that our journey has documented it very well. Because even though it felt out of reach, if you played it slow and steady, you still would have gotten the same exact result. You would have gotten exactly what people wanted back in the day. 2019, 2020. Everybody wanted to grow their money. They wanted, but then again, double, triple seems so small now to some people, but that's fucking awesome. It's free money, right? And then again, if you were able to parlay it into a home, even better. But yeah, man, I do think it was wild to see, man. But I'm telling you, bro, people wanted it. So that's why I think it's all a lot of it's a social dynamic nowadays. And I think that maybe we may have burned a generation. It could be the lost generation, but I think the next generation might get there. Maybe that's why they're doing the children's accounts. And I do see it. I see some of the younger guys now, like the wiser ones, because then they, that's what happens. Like, you see what ends up happening is like a bunch of people in a generation, you watch them all pull one way, And then there's always the like couple of dudes and females in the generation who are like, nah, that's dumb. And they're like, that's stupid. I'm not gonna. Why? They're like, these guys are idiots. And then they go and they're like, I'm gonna do it this way. But then it just sucks because, again, like even the info, what gets promoted, it's just different now. But yeah, we do need to go back to it, bro. We do gotta go. It's not just dividends. It's just like growing money, saving, investing little by little. Save your money, a small amount, put it in, hold for a long time, adequate. Not going for anything. Just follow these rules, man. But it's social. It is social. I think financial literacy did turn into gambling. But I think I'm telling you, gambling was not the cause. Gambling is a symptom. I think the cause was truly things feeling the impression. Because like I'm telling you, we showed it with a small amount of money, I replicated every single income level pretty much. The low end to the high, it didn't matter. It's just that it was the impression that things were out of reach. It was the impression that you're never going to get this opportunity. It was the impression it's already doubled, tripled. You're like, well, how am I going to do anything? Damn, UNH's up 3 now. I think CNC started going earlier. Because look where you are. That's what it felt like in 2019, but it wasn't that much. From the bottom, it wasn't that much higher. Compared to now. Gunny? What up, baby? Walmart's going up too. And then we hit the high and then coming back down to VWAP. Oil numbers did distillates, and then it was like a little bit ago. It was 574 versus gain versus an estimate of draw of 2 million, I think. Was oil moving a little bit? Yeah, Microsoft, they reiterated it, and then it popped up, and now it's still a little weak. I think richest man in Babylon. That story will explain it. Telling you, the crypto, the day trading, that was always around. Like I told you, I bought crypto 3-4 years before that. So I'm saying, bro, it went crazy. My first run on Bitcoin was $300 to 18,000. That was the 2018. So it wasn't. That always existed. There was day traders before me, bro. Day traders for 20, 30 years before. It wasn't that. It was the out of reach. I'm telling you, it was the inflation in every single, from normal goods to assets. And I think the impression that everything was out of reach, it went crazy. And then the symptoms, and then it led to, it's like your body, it's like the hips and the mobility, like one thing led to another, but it starts with one imbalance, and that one imbalance started that set off the dominoes. Algamich, Arcat, Sam, where's the other one? Dio. Some Ciroc. Yeah, Nivda and Microsoft chilled out. Let's get the checkup again. It's 8:13. 17 minutes till power hour. Dow Jones, 23 green, 7 in the red. 1 actually went green. NASDAQ, 60 green, 41 red. So like 8 went red. And SPY, 328 green, 170-ish in the red. So not bad. Goldman on the high. Goldman, decent pop, $4. It's like still only 0.5%. Yeah, PayPal said something on guidance. Toast is running. They might be at one. Tostada. Oh man, Robinhood was already around. Yeah, Toast is at a conference right now. The UBS one. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's nuts. I just out of reach, dog. Out of reach. We are cutting rates next week. But that's why, too, think about that for your long term, you guys. Think about the risk-free rate. Think about some of the dividends. And, like, bonds are going to tweak out a little bit, and I really think the bonds are tweaking more off the Fed chair and getting ready for that. It's going to be bumpy. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see this time if lower rates actually does it get that money market moving. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Lavorna doesn't know the 50-year mortgage is officially off the table. Oh no, don't get people started. Dude, see, that's kind of the crazy part too, man. Because, like, people didn't like the 50-year mortgages. People don't like the children's accounts. That blew my mind, dog. You have no idea. I thought people would have been like, yeah, like, obviously these guys are going to do it for tax breaks in these companies, and maybe we could talk about the bill, but, like, nah, dude, people were just, like, pissed. That one I wasn't really expecting. Weak because of the monetary policy. Is 20% a good idea? Should you hold gold till a purchase? No, man. Come on. That's why I'm telling y'all, man. The rules don't change. I say this in love. When are you guys gonna realize this? You know what I'm saying? Like, the law is the law. You got laws of wealth, and we've outlined the rules came before me, and they're gonna stay after me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, yeah, stop. I mean, you do whatever you want, but I would stop trying to get out of it. But like I even said earlier, though, Polyalti and XBI, high ticker's kind of going off right now. Intuit, banks again. Path, toast again too. Treasury hopeful there'll be more donors to Trump accounts. But yeah, like I'm saying, I said earlier, 20% is a max. It is not a target. That's the sad reality I'm kind of learning here today. Because that was just to, like I say, and some of y'all, let me put it this way. I am glad that I shared that with you, because some of y'all would have held cash for the last 3 years. Let's be real. Y'all know it too. Because some of y'all were really trying to be like, yeah, Josh, I got a long term, 80% cash. You don't remember? FTX, Meta, all of it. Y'all were trying to wait that shit. You were like, yeah, it's going to come down. Yeah, thank God. No, dude. So that's why I'm glad I shared it with you guys, and I hope it, as you would have seen, it would have kept you safe. It would have made sure you were progressing on your goal, not too much, not too little. But that's like the second, third person today that is, it's not a target. Do you guys understand what I mean by that? Having 20% cash is not a target. It is just a damn, that's it. It's just there as a limit. A limit is not a target. We're not trying to accumulate 20% cash. We're trying to accumulate ownership. You understand? Highest quality at the best price. But we are trying to accumulate it. If you have 20%, you have too much. That's too much. Price is Right. Yeah, a lot of things, bro. Look at the high ticker. It's almost fully maxed in a little bit, but everything from banks. I see a lot of banks and a lot of software. And a couple consumer ones. Again, you got the thing. NVIDIA came to answer questions about AI. It's like Jesus in the Bible. When they asked him, they're like, what do you think about divorce? And he said, what's the law of Moses? And he said, it's there for your hardened heart. But it doesn't mean you should go and get divorces all the time. You understand? 20% was that was it. It was just to make sure you did not sit there doing nothing. 20% would have made sure you would have had enough cash if anything happened, but then also that your 80% is working. That's what financial education is. That's what this is with the long term. You need, just like Richest Man in Babylon, you need to save and then make your investment work for you. You're not going to work letting 80% sit there, right? You want 80% working. That's the max, or the minimum, really, if you think about it. Max cash, minimum amount of money working. So it's just not a target. And I'm glad, though. I do think some of y'all are trying to bend it, or you may not realize it, but I'm glad this came up today, because I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's not a target, dude. 20% is too much. So it's good to have cash, especially when everything's up or you don't know what's there. You could even wait for a decline, but you got to realize by doing that, we're not supposed to run max 20s, dude. That's not what you want all the time. Especially when, as I've been banging on the table here, there you got 70% of the S&P down compared to the index. 70%, 60% is underperforming. That's not in an environment where you want to have the most cash possible. Yeah, you can't buy Meta, you can't buy NVIDIA. Those are up. Apple's up. It was down 30 at one point this year. But it's like, yeah, this isn't the, you have opportunity. You have very good targets that you could just throw at a fucking dartboard and you'll get something good. But your job is to grow your money. Not, you don't want to fall for the trap of being so afraid that you're doing it. Your 20% margin. Gotta use your big brain, YOLO. No, I'm gonna ban you in a second, because like that's part of the social thing I'm talking about. Because like, I don't know why y'all got tricked into thinking that's like funny or relatable, because like we know what happens, and then we don't fuck with it. You know why? Because what are you in the market for, brother? That's what I've seen. That's why I don't get why the young guys have done it, because I'm like, this is why people would rather watch me lose and will literally stop watching if all we do is win for the whole entire year. It's kind of crazy, but that's why, because you've been tricked into thinking losing is relatable. It's not. Imagine all these fucking old boomers at a No Kings protest. All of them got fucking lawn terms. You guys know that, right? That's what I'm saying. The whole margin thing speaks to the out of reach. Oh, literally, bro, I doubled up the long term doing nothing on the rebuild. You get tired of winning. So yeah, man, it's 20% cash is not a target. That's too much. You're joking? Well, those jokes get banned here. It's a terrible joke. You know, because then again, we're having a very serious conversation for people who want to be rulers of the universe, who are going to be men of means and women of means, and to grow. That's why I'm saying, like, seriously, the big thing, you know, you could joke right now, but for some people, it's very serious, because this rule is like I'm saying, if I didn't share this 20% with some of y'all, I know damn well some of y'all would have held fucking cash for the last 3 years. Some of y'all probably did it this year. And that's what I'm saying. You may have even went above 20%. 20% is the temperature gauge in your vehicle moving. Once it moves, dog, that's not good. You want it stable, but you shouldn't be holding that much cash. And then, yeah, the joke at this moment is not going to apply. But that's what I'm saying, bro. It does, it's a crazy concept. So, I don't know. I'm glad we talked about it today. And that's what I've been saying yesterday, the last month. If you have 20% cash, imagine what we're getting into. Rate cuts, taxes, a whole new land filled with bribes and lots of cuts. So yeah, you want to use that cash. I don't think you should be sitting there too much. Again, even once the rates started going down and the bills, remember Bill? And that started to yield left, you know, it's there. 0% cash is not always good. No, 0%, I mean, let me put it this way. I'm on 0% cash. What is your goal? That's what we need to talk about. So if you're gonna, Zoitis, Flush, I think they're at the event. That was on yesterday. Damn, down 1.7. There's one, oh, if you could get filled at that one. Oh, shit. Oh, they gave it to me. I was gonna leave it for you. Go, dude, just throw a fucking cheap-ass limit. It'll fill you, maybe. I got filled right away. That just triggered too. It might bounce though already. But yeah, I don't know why dude, it was at $2. I got filled at $20. Yeah, a little $20 one. But yeah, you don't want to what's it called? You don't want to what's your goal? You don't if you're gonna keep depositing, you're not gonna stay at 0% cash. If you are on a 10-year minimum, right? And then your long term is your 10%, your savings. Like we said, we want the money working and growing. So you can have a small amount, but even then at this rate, for me, I'll have to save multiple deposits just to get to 5. I'll have to save a year to get to 10%. You want to be invested. That's what I'm saying. At the very least, some of these dividend names, if it's a stable dividend, and think about it, inflation, deflation, dollar debasement, all these themes everybody talks so much about, right? But then they talk about it, but they bring you to fear. Think about it. What's better than cash? A company, a good one. That's OG Warren Buffett. You see what I'm saying? It's you could straight up, I would rather have a solid dividend stock paying me 4.5% a year with limited downside and more upside than any sort of cash. Why? Because think about it. It's going to still work for you and give you some cash. Having dry powder to be diversified? No, you diversify through what you hold. Again, you could have a little bit of cash, but you need to get away from this idea. Everything you're telling me sounds like you're trying to become Michael Burry and bottom tick. That's the problem. You may do it one day. I mean, shit, you've watched me bottom tick some of the greatest companies in the world at the best prices in the last 5 years. We've done it live for free $99. I didn't have to sit around waiting, stacking up cash, missing every opportunity. My money was working. That's how I was able to shoot. You're going to be able to really go for it. But that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of people without this 20% thing, some of y'all would have sat there and done nothing. And that's not good. But you want to get away from this idea of, this is what I explained before and it blew people's minds. You realize that's being greedy, right? It doesn't seem like it, because you thought greedy was everybody who buys at the high. You would think being fully invested is greedy, right? I would argue it's being wise. Again, the objective is not to become fully invested. The objective is get quality assets, get quality ownership. That's my goal for 10 years. So think about it. The guys who sit around waiting for cash, sitting on big amounts of cash, waiting for dry powder just in case, to be diversified, you are trying to bottom tick. It's greed. It really is. You want to protect it. I get you. So how are you protecting against everything that's gone on in the last few years? It wouldn't have been holding cash. It would have been the opposite. See what I'm saying? You're going to protect your just like so if we want to protect, why don't we buy puts, right, for our long term? Yeah, you don't want to use margin because then that's charging you money. Fully invested in your cash, if you do it the right way, not bad. Again, and then you keep depositing, your cash is going to come up a little, you'll have enough. But think about it. Why wouldn't we buy puts? That'll protect, cost money. But think about it. We're on a 10-year time frame. So I don't care if it goes down, because my protection is going to be buying more at better and growing the equity, right? Because it's going to fluctuate in prices for a little bit. But if you're picking good quality, even the damn SPY, if you want to make it that easy, you're going to walk away with good assets that will do better than the cash. Path? Yeah, Path is running. So yeah, man, but it is like I'm telling you, I would not, I think I go pretty safe. I mean, we've done, whether it's good or bad, our account's been there. But, like, think about it, man. It's greed. It's greed in another way. It's the people waiting, instead of finding quality, focusing on the time frame and the goal, it's people kind of trying to wait and protect, but it's not really protection. You're exposing yourself to having a lot of cash, waiting for this big decline, but then if it doesn't materialize, you wind up in the out of reach position that pretty much caused a lot of this mania. Well, think about it. You just answered your question. If you said you're worried about the devaluation of the dollar, why would you hold 20% dollars? Like I'm saying, you could get, you would want assets. So, and then again, buying gold after it went up 50%, that's not how you're going to protect it, unfortunately. If you bought it earlier, or if you, and then again, but you played it in the same way, you get a little bit of growth, a little bit of dividends. You make your dollars stretched by buying the things that are down. That S&P list, you're getting way more stock for whatever those dollars are giving now. You take it to the expensive shit, gold even, you're getting way less asset for way more dollars. That's the exact opposite. So, telling you, man, it's a good talk. It really is. But don't sit around waiting. That's a big lesson there. Do not sit away. Don't sit around waiting for things to die, for things to get worse. Have a plan in any weather. That's what we've been doing. That's what I'm saying. 5-6 years, didn't matter what you threw at us, everything has stayed the same. And by doing that, we were again, sometimes it's not, some months it's not good, some months it's great. But you are not going to get left behind and we were still able to take advantage of every single major decline. That's very objective. How do you date? We don't put puts in the long term. That's what I was just saying. So Sloan, I fuck with you. Well, kind of. But you just said you watched for months, and now you're subscribed. So you know I ban people in this chat for options. If you've been watching for months, I'm going off of what you said. So don't make that mistake again. I kind of gave you the subtle warning earlier. You missed it. But we don't put any options in the long term. That's what I was trying to tell people. Because if you're going to be on a 10-year time frame, you don't need to buy insurance. Your insurance is keep saving. If it goes down, you buy more. That's what we've done with AbbVie and a lot of other plays. And then that's why it sucks if we buy a play and it rips, because then usually we're going to shop our dollar to get more. But yeah, you're not buying any puts in the long term. I think it's a waste of money. If you're truly going to follow the plan of 10 years minimum, you're better off buying more equity than buying insurance that would disappear. How do you know what to buy? Buy things that you know and use for the last 10 years, or that will be around for 10 years. And then, ideally that's not overpriced or up substantially in a short amount of time. But most of the stuff in the long term that is done really well, you know and use them. You don't need to sell for tax loss harvesting. No. I do that on my trading accounts. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. When you buy a house, you hold them and you do it the right way. You don't watch me, you only listen. Does that really change everything? Motherfucker, what did I just say to you? Did you not hear everything? What the fuck? Now you just playing. You thought your little compliment and $5, man. Now you pissing me off. Very simple, brother, okay? None of this option shit. And you don't need to watch. I could take care. Look. No options in the long term. Very simple. Look at that. Nothing on, just a beautiful, nice view over here, bro. It look like the farm, low key. I'm not going, that's how it look. It overlooked the mountain. It's beautiful. But it's very simple. You do not buy puts in the long term because you are going to hold for 10 years minimum. Your insurance will be your deposits in buying more equities cheaper. So you did say you like that I keep it real, and I'm one of the only guys that keeps it real. That's how you started it off this morning. So I hope this keeping it real with you, that bullshit's not going to fly, brother. Okay? This ain't you. And I answered your Netflix question too. So you have ran out of all patience and warnings now. Please, don't fuck around, man. And please protect your 10-year future. And don't fall for the traps. Unless you work for Citadel and you want us to buy options, then I don't know. I don't know. Game got my heart. Game got my soul. Saving for a house with a smaller long term. Well, your long term is your house money. So you could keep it in the savings account, but also too, you're going to take the risk if you make bad decisions in the long term with your down payment money, it could give you less. But, if you play your cards the right way, you will, I think you're better, again, richest man in Babylon. The idea is to put your money to work. So it's good to save. That's the first step, right? 1/10 of what you earn is yours to keep. then now you want to make thy dwelling a profitable investment. It's good. But now you want to go to areas that are skilled men, skilled places that have proven they make money. You want to invest in that so that it could grow your savings. So, but the very conservative way is to just put it in a savings account. But like I'm saying, again, even like Colt's sister, that $200 a month, it was $8,000 last year. You play your cards right, you buy value, buy quality, it could double up. That now just got us quicker, faster but again, speed isn't what we want. We want quality. That's all. Shout out to Lupe. I always say it. Game got my heart. Game got my soul. It is, dude. I forgot. You're right. Even the monthly deposits do help you qualify. I think Bill Pulte is doing it too. I think they're changing that with the FHA. But like I told you, as we were getting the farm, I talked to a couple of lenders, and they were telling me, bro, many lenders nowadays, they will qualify your trading, your like long-term account. So like, the account that we have, the small one, even Colt's sister, that $200 a month that you put in, if you do it consistently, you think about it, we have several years of it, they'll qualify that as income. Now, yes, dude, it's crazy. That blew my mind this year. Because that was like, some people would do it on like non-QM lenders, but that is starting to spread a little bit. Last ditch Wall Street to caution President Trump about Kevin Hassett. They say Hassett has a lack of credibility inside the Fed and staff and markets. I disagree. I mean, he wouldn't be my number one pick, but unfortunately, Powell has lost all credibility. I could say the same thing about Powell, unfortunately. And that sucks because you guys know how much I love Powell. But I don't think Powell he fucked up he started off very good, but this last 12 months of Powell, really 18 months from the last election, has been abysmal. I'm surprised, bro, it's a miracle nothing bad has happened. It's a miracle. Because the way he's played some of these moves, man, not to mention, what do you mean credibility inside the Fed? Half of these guys have gotten in trouble for insider trading or directly violating rules. Not even lack of disclosure, but literally trading under blackout periods amongst other egregious violations. So, yeah, it's unfortunately all the credibility is shot. So, I think you could throw anybody in there at this point. You guys could throw me in there. And, yeah, you got to build it from the ground up, it looks like. Another headline on the autos. I used my SBA loan. You got it, and they used your long-term. Gave them no bank info. No fucking way. Really? Bro, that's awesome. I love it. That's a great news. That's fucking dope. So you got a small business loan, and all you provided was your long-term statements? That was one of your selling points when you bought your house? He lit up when he saw the Robinhood in the account? Yeah, they'll use a normal, if you have good assets in any sort of financial account, they'll look at it, but then also it's like the world has changed for the better in this sense, where if you show that you could consistently save, a lender is going to give you something for it. That's what I'm saying. Worst comes to worst, your fucking long-term is credit history, dude. You can go. Well, you know why? How many people are actively saving 10% consistently for several years? Because one, the assets will materialize and show up. Like I'm saying, I could show you any account that constantly saves. It's going up. It's money. It's your money. It's real money. But then also, it shows a level of financial responsibility that lenders, anybody, they're gonna like it. And that's why I'm glad it's getting a lot more attention. They could be from multiple, as long as it goes into one account, because you're going to show them the account. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you can pull it from wherever the funds come from, but if you, like I'm saying, you have a Schwab, and it shows $200 a month, $300, they're going to qualify that as income. They're going to qualify that for the property. Or they'll at least use your total balance as assets. So then if you said, yeah, this is where my down payment's coming from, but no questions asked because it's been there for so long. They funded you after the lockdown. Bro, that's dope. I did not know the SBA would do that. That's really good news. That's really good news, bro. That's another win for the long term. And good work, Jamar. Fuck yeah. No way. So, yeah. You gave them no bank info? You just, so that was your only statement? Was the fucking Schwab? That's crazy. I love it. But it makes sense. That's how it should be. That's how you got pre-approved long term. That's one of the good developments. It used to not be like that. So I'm glad the world has changed to that sense. Micron announces exit from crucial consumer business. They're going to continue to support large strategic customers in faster growing segments. No more consumer Micron products. Start of the new year, you're gonna make the switch? No. Do it now or do it never, brother. You're better off. Stay with your really conservative route, which isn't necessarily the rules, or you start right away. That was yesterday's philo. You don't need the calendar. You don't need any. Are you gonna do it or not? But be careful though, because that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna do it in a certain way, you've got to follow every single rule, because if you're going to take all this savings and then throw it all in at once, you're doing it wrong. Remember, it's a little by little plan. That's what we're even talking about here with these qualifications. You're not getting qualified off of the money off this. It's off of simply straight up consistent deposits or income. That's what it's looking. It's your money, but you're paying yourself. And that's what I'm saying. Lenders are starting to realize that. Lenders are starting to acknowledge that. You give yourself $200 a month, that's an extra $200 a month you're making. You're paying to yourself. So I would do it now or never, but I wouldn't be, like I'm saying, if you're going to hesitate, wait, or do it the wrong way, I don't think it'll be, it'll turn emotional and bad. You play it the right, just as you've seen everybody do here. You've been here for a while, Mr. Braxton. It was a long time, actually, I've known your name. So you know all the rules. You got to do it the same way, and it'll operate. It'll do what it's done for thousands, millions, arguably. But at the same time, it's not. If you go on the emotional and waiting and all that, it's not. It's not gonna do good. US FTC requires Boeing to divest several Spirit assets to proceed with merger. Yeah, check out SPR. They're moving off that. Just increase the deposit. Oh, I love it. Good deposit goes a long way. Appreciate it. Learn from the bar purchase. Nah, bro, you've been doing good, man. Jamar, you've been saving, investing, cribs, not business. As it should be. So I like it, man. Got a lot more work to do, but many more harvests, many more seeds. So yeah, man, I think great Oh, we didn't do push-ups. We gotta do some push-ups, guys. You guys want to move around for a little bit? Oh, dude, I need a stretch. I'm gonna go back on the medicine. Oh, bro. Yeah, Spirit's going up now. Again, FTC says they gotta sell some stuff if they want. That already popped. Those guys suck. Damn, I moved like 1% already. That might trigger. That's a long way to go. Blackstone CTO says thinking cybersecurity platforms to buy or leverage keeps him up at night.
What the administration
Okay, do your push-ups, man. Chest to the sun. Flex the
affordability.
core.
Former
Tuck
Secretary
the
Lutnick
hips
addressed
in.
it in our interview.
Stare at an object
They
10,
want to see
20,
lower
30
mortgage
feet
rates. They
away.
want to see more
Look
supply of
away
homes.
from this screen.
Both theoretically
Blink a
would
few
help.
times.
What-
That's for
what
the.
do you
I know
think
y'all
is the
wanted it.
best
Blink,
policy?
blink, blink,
What-
blink,
what
blink,
can
blink,
they
blink,
do
blink,
to get
blink,
the
blink, blink,
market
blink.
moving here?
Go, relax your eyeballs.
simplest policy
Bro,
change we
relax
could make is to
everything.
make
You
it
know that?
easier to build housing.
Do you
And
know
this is an
that if
issue
you
that
do the
unites
right thing,
Elizabeth Warren on the left
and you
Donald
believe in
Trump on the
yourself,
right, you can't find
life,
any other
everything's
issues
gonna
like
work
that.
for you, brother.
For the longest time,
Did you know that?
Americans have been divided about
Did
whether
you know?
we
So
want
relax
more
the
home
eyeballs.
construction because, of course,
Relax
homeowners
the left
worry
side
about
of your
how it will
brain.
affect
Don't
their
stop
prices.
listening to the
But
word.
now I think the country
You know
has
what
got
I'm
the
saying?
bit between its teeth, and we are going to build significantly more housing. It won't solve the problem overnight. No one can. But it is the beginning of a new consensus around affordability. And I think what's interesting about it is that it isn't just home prices anymore. It's utility bills because AI data centers are competing for electricity. And it's also home insurance rates because climate-related natural disasters have made it very expensive to live in the
relax
West,
your jaw.
very expensive
Breathe
to live
in really
flood-prone
deep.
areas like Florida.
Breathe
So
out with
we
your
are
tongue
seeing
out.
people
Do the
look at
dragon
more than
breath.
just
Go.
the home price when deciding, can I afford to live here?
That feels good.
A couple questions on multifamily, Glenn. We have had apartment rents decline month
I think
on
I
month
stopped
for
at
4 straight
Dragon Breath
months.
'cause it
The
covered my mic
multifamily
and
vacancy
spit.
rates at 7, pretty high.
I don't know if you wanted to hear
but I'm
that,
not sure
but
you think apartment rent relief
it's
is going to
true.
last.
Yeah, that ain't gonna last.
All right, I'm
So
gonna
the
go do a
people
couple more
building
sets.
apartments have really slowed down construction, and that means that as supply dwindles and demand remains steady,
I had to
we
drive
should
30
see
minutes.
rents increase.
You know
For the
that, but
longest
they
time, there was
texted
an
me.
apartment building
And we
boom,
all, it was the
not
same
in the
squad,
for-sale
bro.
market, but in the rental market,
SPR
and that
triggered
really kept a
3%.
lid on
Woo!
rents.
Some of you hit.
We are seeing more millennials.
Yeah, they're
and Gen Z
400%
folks
on the
living
ones that
with
are
their
cheap. You gotta
parents,
go near the money if
shacking
you
up
want
with
it, but good
roomies.
luck.
Homeownership
I left
rates
it for
are
you.
very low,
big
so that has suppressed rent
Yeah.
increases, but it can't last forever.
Yeah,
I had to drive 30
driven
minutes
up the
and then
the
40
age
minutes
of
to get home.
First-time home buyers. Glenn, I just wanted to ask you about our colleague Diana
was so
Olick's
worth it,
article
but
she
now
put
my
on
back
CNBC.com that got a lot of attention, citing your data on delistings. 85,000 U.S. sellers taking their homes off the market in September, up almost 30% from the year before, and the highest for that month in 8 years. What does that tell you about the market? What are we seeing there?
Never question Diana Olick. She has been on this beat forever. She knows everything. And in this case, she's citing us. So how could I disagree? It's an 8-year high. We see some sellers panicking where they see really good listings that aren't selling. Their own home is getting marketed like crazy and still not moving. And so it's normal at this time of year to delist properties and try again in January or February. But even accounting for that seasonality, it is an 8-year high. And that is just because the market is in transition. So buyers are looking forward 6 months, saying, if I wait, time's gonna be on my side, I'm gonna get a better deal. And sellers are looking back 6 months, thinking, I wish I'd sold at the beginning of this year instead of being stuck at the bitter end. And so it's a real tough time in the market. There's always a reset coming into the next year. I don't think the rate decreases have affected the housing market because they came too late in the season. But if we start next year with a rate closer to 6.0, we are going to see more home sales. It's just almost a law of physics.
Yeah. Interesting. Spring is going to be important, Glenn. Really good insight and information as always. We appreciate it. Good to see you.
One more prediction. peace and love in 2026. It's gonna be so good next year.
Oh, that's good. We'll take that one.
Okay. Peace and love and a housing reset. That is so Glenn Kelman. Thank you. When we come back, a big test for Salesforce and its AI strategy. When it reports later today, the stock's been an underperformer this year, down around 30%.
Plus, Palantir's Alex Karp on stage at DealBook this hour. You'll hear what he had to say on China competition in the AI race.
Propaganda, feeling right, all time highs.
You know, kind of flat to slightly down on a aggregate basis, but relative to the S&P, underperformed significantly, and that's going on 3 years now. Obviously, you know, you had the rising rate cycle that was pretty damaging. You had some difficulties, especially in the office sector. But as we sit here looking ahead to 2026, the fundamental backdrop looks okay, and especially if you get rates falling, if that 10-year yield starts to drop, and you know that has cascading effects on valuations, it has cascading effects on cost of capital, and really would be a boost for the sector going forward.
Where are you seeing to be some bright spots right now in the REIT sector, Jeff?
Senior housing. That is the...
Why are you looking at me?
I didn't look at you.
I'm looking at you, Paul. I mean, that's the clear winner right now. The fundamental backdrop, driven by demographics, is huge and growing. There's an incredible coming need for housing for the aging baby boomers.
Damn, bro, they are monetizing
and,
that.
There's nothing being built. So the supply-demand dynamics in that space are incredible. And there's a couple of REITs that play in that space. Welltower is the biggest one. They're growing like crazy, and the stock is reflecting it.
All right, so Jeff, what's the aside from folks? Old folks housing, which is I'm going to say because I'm there. I'm there. I'm in the demo. What else is working here? What is it? Is there a replay on all this AI data center stuff?
So there's a couple of different ways to answer that. The direct impact of AI on REITs is the two big data center REITs, Equinix and Digital Realty, and they are playing in that space. Right now, it's kind of unclear exactly where they fit. There should be a significant amount of demand for their space, especially for the stuff that they're looking to build, but they have to raise a ton of capital in order to fund that development. And you see CapEx numbers coming out from all the hyperscalers that are astronomical. REITs, investors in REITs don't necessarily love the concept of raising a ton of money to deploy it in kind of risky assets that you need to then go lease up. So the demand should clearly be there, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out over the next couple of years as that demand filters through. The other issue with AI, though, is there is a kind of a concern that AI is going to impact demand for office space. And, as companies get more efficient, they need less headcount, they need less office space. Haven't really started to see that play out yet, but it's definitely a sentiment that is out there and is impacting the stocks to a degree. Just as we got past the whole work from home thing and concern over whether offices were ever going to have people back in them, now we have concern that the robots are going to replace the people.
So of course we do have the incoming New York City mayor saying that he wants to freeze rents on rent-stabilized apartments in New York City. What's the latest in terms of the apartment REIT space right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's unclear exactly what he's going to be able to do on...
Because I don't think all this cultural assimilation hasn't worked in the last 50 years, and that's an obvious truth you're also not allowed to say. I'm skeptical of imposing values on other people. I never believed we should or try to make the Arab Middle East, Wilsonian people, like a Wilsonian ideal imposed upon them. If you believe for a second that anyone else outside this country believes that we are going to defend our values without superiority and moral violence, you're just living in a world that doesn't exist. It does not exist.
All right, all of Karp's sort of worldview is wrapped into that one soundbite. It was Palantir, of course, founder and CEO Alex Karp on stage at DealBook with our Andrew Ross Sorkin earlier this hour, talking quite a bit about the relationship between the U.S. and other countries. We'll bring you all the highlights from DealBook throughout the day here on CNBC.
Yeah, it's been a busy morning for Andrew, that's for sure. Meantime, Salesforce looking to change the narrative around its AI strategy tonight when it reports results, and Seema Modi's got a curtain raiser on that. Hey, Seema.
Sarah, CEO Mark Benioff has been championing this idea, right? That Salesforce's AI agents can automate tasks, make businesses more efficient, and in some cases replace human talent. And while the company has had a number of early customer wins like Williams-Sonoma, FedEx, investors tonight want more concrete evidence of adoption. Examples of how businesses are integrating these agents. Citi analyst
First of all, let me give you again I think a lot of these things are downstream from AI. The people who are not speaking up are making huge mistakes. First of all, you're underestimating your audience. When you're not saying roughly what you think, let's get to a mark that's realistic, 50%, right. 20% of even 20% would be 20 times what's actually happening. What the people in the audience actually perceive is you're lying. Now, they don't know what you're lying about, and therefore they impute you're lying about something you're probably not even lying about. And so, I have the problem that I blow up things all the time. People quit all the time. People are offended. Family members stop talking to me on occasion for years until they discover I'm right. And then they are even more ashamed, and it could take another 2 years. It's like, but if you are not, there's really two problems, or two big problems. One, people impute you're lying, and you're not actually lying, but people assume someone of your level of intellect does not believe the stupid things you're saying. And the biggest problem is you lose the smartest people outside, and the problem that they underestimate is you lose the smartest people inside. Because when I'm speaking here, everyone at Palantir, current, past, and present, knows, hey, he's doing exactly what he does at home. Right. So he's telling me the truth when he says, hey, I don't believe this product's gonna work, or I am telling you the truth, as far as I believe it, and I have a history of being right. And that's the problem. Now, there's a societal problem, which is that we have all the basically obviously ridiculous people, especially the ones who do not even know that they're ridiculous, because there's like some kind of, derangement syndrome that has abrogated their ability to think. They speak up all the time, and they intimidate the rest of us. And that's a big problem for our society, because I'll tell you, we are not living in a world in the absence of delivery. If America does not deliver, we will be under the rule that's defined by our adversaries. This is just a fact.
Let me ask you this, because we're going to run out of time, and I just want to talk to you about you personally for a moment.
You're one of those liars, Andrew.
This is all about. We're all watching you talk, I think, very openly about your views. And I want to know where you think it all comes from. Where the energy comes from. Your biographer says it comes from your childhood. You grew up dyslexic. You grew up to a Jewish pediatrician was your father. African-American artist was your mother. And I want to know what you think has led to all of this. What's driving you?
It's very hard to know answer these questions. I mean, my parents are extraordinarily talented, and to the point where I think most of the issues they confronted were just, everyone says they want to be around extraordinarily smart people, till they're around extraordinarily smart people. And everyone thinks, the interaction with my parents will school you on what the level of aptitude is in the world, and the rest of my family. But I think, for me, people always write about my parents and their background, and the far right hates that I grew up in a Jewish family and defend Jews against the most disgusting and obvious vehement attacks, and the far left thinks because of my background I should somehow give up real progressive thought and support ideologies that only hurt the people they claim to support. So I think those ways of thinking don't clear a certain level of thought philosophically. And so I tend to find them fairly boring and wish someone else would speak up. The dyslexia thing, has been, which I was totally in the closet about, is the formative moment of my life. And it's simply because if you are massively dyslexic, you cannot play a playbook. There is no playbook a dyslexic can master, and therefore we learn to think freely. And so, one definition of dyslexia would be there are many definitions. One definition that I think is a clearing function is you have attenuated relationship to text, meaning a non-dyslexic will read the text and the text will become them, de facto. The more you lead, the more the text becomes you. No dyslexic works that way. And so there are huge disadvantages. Honestly, I would have cut off my arms and legs probably, or at least something to get rid of the dyslexia. But the central advantage is I process in a way that has very little to do with what anyone else thinks. And that has powered a lot, combined with obvious aptitude, and I believe in what we're doing, so we're very aggressive in making it work. I don't know, but where it comes from, but I really believe in the primacy of winning, not for money, which I love the freedom of money, but because, I do think what people will believe will be downstream of what has worked at some point in the future, and I believe in what we're doing.
Let me ask you this, and I want to know whether you think this drives you. You told a story, your mother passed away from cancer, and you were interviewed.
She did, that's wrong. But
that's wrong?
She didn't pass away. No.
Oh my goodness.
No, so luckily.
I don't know why.
How the fuck do you get that wrong, dude?
I hope she didn't.
Is that a threat?
I thought you were talking about the jeweler who helped your mother when she had nothing. But I was struck by this. I was struck by a quote where there was a jeweler
Alex
who helped your
Karp
mother.
is half
when my
black.
parents got divorced, my mom had no money, and there was a very kind
Did you
family
know
to keep
this?
her in.
But you said this about life and the jeweler.
I mean,
helping
she
your
looked
mother.
kind of white
You said,
on some of the
general,
pictures, but
people don't help you.
What the fuck?
And I remember watching you say that, and I thought, is that what's driving this? Meaning this view about how you think the rest of the world views all of each other.
Bro, he's half Jewish, half black. He's like Blake Griffin.
I do not believe it's accurate to say the world will help you. And my grandfather used to say, be careful who you help, they'll never forgive you.
What?
I think the more you want, the true progressive position is obviously help someone to help themselves. And I do believe the negative side of helping people, I mean, there's a positive side of helping people, but the negative side of helping people is you are conveying the idea that they need your help and they need it in perpetuity, which is dehumanizes and
Chad, you don't need help from
takes away agency from
Jesus.
them. But I do believe that America and strong individuals, realistic individuals, recognize you are largely on your own. And the more you recognize that, the better we will be as a society and a world. And that's why I'm very skeptical of all these international whatever. It's all a way of curtailing and constraining the obvious fact that some cultures are superior. We live in superior culture, a culture that defends our right to argue, defends our right to back that up with arms, defends our right to privacy. So the First, Second, and Fourth Amendment, I believe Palantir and I are fully aligned with the First, Second, and Fourth Amendment. No one believes the Fourth Amendment.
Oh, you're talking about American code. Okay, I guess I could get down with that.
The First Amendment was put first for a reason.
I thought he was about to.
We protect individuals in this country,
what's he about to?
and our
What comes next, sir?
Constitution derives that protection from a higher force, God, that is different than any other country in the world. And the basis of that is protecting our agency as humans. And why do we have that agency? Because it is somehow magical in an artistic sense, or maybe in a religious sense. It's somehow
I can't
divine.
believe they said his mom died.
That agency
is
how we help others and how we help ourselves. And if you expect people to do more than that, now some people do. The family, I don't know if I should say their name because I don't want them to get protesters, although I've had a lot of people asking, can they go buy jewelry there, especially people I've made very wealthy, and I'm proud of that. there are people who manage to help at key moments. And those people I have great reverence for. And you will see in your life that there are very few of them. Like I had this advisor, we transferred into a magnet school at Central, and I got, it's very American, you're already at an elite school, I got an IQ test, and she was like, what are your grades? And in any case, she was like, you should have the best grades and like, she intervened and took care of me, and I revere that. And I hope people at Palantir, like when you come to Palantir is the single most elite educational brand in the world currently. And if you have, as defined by, it's like being at Harvard or Yale in the 50s. If you are at Palantir, you will have a job immediately, independent of how you did there, which is no other school can claim anymore. And part of the reason people come and stay at Palantir is we actively engage in cultivating minds. One last sentence on this before you go. We cultivate minds by being exceedingly difficult. The minute you are not difficult is a French saying, qui aime bien châtie bien, which basically means if you love greatly, you are exceedingly difficult.
Amen.
Witness all the love I'm giving you. And in New York Times,
I've said that one of the things we try to do at this event every year is to go inside the minds of the most consequential people in the world.
I didn't know I could start speaking French.
We have now seen and gone inside your mind. And we want to thank you for the conversation. Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. We are going to take the next.
All right. Man, carp grows on me, bro. Carp grows on me. I know that was the most eloquent he has been. He's usually like, and then we kill the bad guys. He's like, fuck them all. But yeah, that was good. That was good. So it's 9:10. We edged up a little bit. NASDAQ still red. Lots of long-term talks. Couple long-term guesses. A couple long-term rules discussed on a Wednesday. On a Wednesday. That's so crazy. I'm trippy. He's like, your mom died. He's like, no. How did they? Man. UAL with a little move. Again, SPR was the other one. There's a VKTX they were saying with Abby Vibe, but it just kind of melted up. Didn't really have a news pop. Lock in on a Wednesday, bro. Yeah, man. And just end of the year. Can't you guys, 20 closes, I think? 20 stock market bells. And then it's the end of the year. You got a couple of half days mixed in, I think, too. Increasingly difficult. I like it, man. You should challenge your mind. You should have a good culture. That's why, Chad. Do you understand the culture in the Chad? You know Chad excellence is real. That's why, man. I hope I like hearing that. I'm back on my bouncy ball. That's it. I'm on medicine ball. Why do they call it a medicine ball? Why don't they call it a bouncy ball? Abby Vice, CFO at Piper Sandler. Yeah, it didn't really move too much, but it's good they said. I remember they talked about VKTX. There's been a lot of biotech M&A. I think it's a good time, but then I get scared. I don't know what they're going to do. Google rolling out pilot of in-call projections for financial apps. It's crazy. Gemini knows stuff. Like if you tell it, like even on Nana Banana, I told it to make one of those pictures when I was doing the Thanksgiving thumbnail, and then it what's it called? It literally put up the SPY in like NASDAQ, like it knows like the SPY and the tickers. It's kind of crazy without telling it. Yeah, Microsoft says the story inaccurately combines the concepts of growth and sales. Yeah, that was that pop earlier. So in the morning pre-market, they said that it was, they lowered the sales target, and then they came out and they said there's a difference between growth and sales target. So it was the information. That was the source on it. But it didn't recover fully. I don't even know. Yeah, we're not even back up. That's what it was. That was at 5 or 6. It was like right when we went live at 6. I love the Thanksgiving one. The turkey, the people, the jets. Oh, man. I love Christmas too. Have you guys decorated your trees yet or no? I did it early, bro. Usually I do it at the last second. But nah, man, I got the tree up. I got ornaments. All of it, bro. All of it. I don't know, bro. I want to do Christmas decorations at the farm. Because I went to the farm the other day. And I drove by and these motherfucking neighbors, dog. They had lights everywhere. And it looked so good. But then I'm afraid I'm going to put them up and I'm never going to take them down. That's what could happen. It's called a yoga ball. Medicine balls are heavy if you pick them up. So what's the difference? Swiss ball? Medicine balls are weighted? I don't get the difference. What's happening? New tree. Shout out to Lowe's. Hey, listen, man. I don't know who needs to hear this, but in these economic times, you really should get a fake tree. I'm so glad I got that fake tree a couple years ago. Because did I tell you, I bought a tree during like 2021 and it cost $400. I saw a video the other day. Somebody bought 2 trees for $1,000 in New York. Isn't that 2 Christmas trees? Dude, yeah, fake tree is the long term, bro. 10 years minimum. Honestly, it comes out to like what, $20 a year if you keep it. They're like, you could get it on sale, $200. I think mine was $200 and it's dope. I got like 800 LEDs in it, bro. It look insane. But yeah, I own a farm, so you think I grow Christmas trees? I actually have a little one. There's like 2 little ones on the property. Well, I'm not gonna like cut them down. But wait, I didn't think about it. Can we just like, can you plant Christmas trees? And like, you don't need like a special climate or anything? It went up day after Halloween? Oh, wow. Yeah, I got mine on sale and it was beautiful. But I'm so happy I had it. You could make good money growing on Christmas trees. I'm sure, dog. I'm sure you could fucking... Dog, it's expensive. It take a while to grow. You have a reel and a fake. I like the smell of a Christmas tree. But then I got little sticks. You know that? My fake tree smelled like a Christmas tree. My girl got these little things, and they smell good. It's like a Christmas tree stick. And you hang it on the inside. I know, bro. All right, you're kind of going up. Look at the high ticker. Biotechs especially. A fake tree that shed more than the real. Really? Mine hasn't shed yet. You got yours 5 years ago. The longer you hold it, the less riskier it becomes. Amen, bro. See, you know the rules. You know how it works. Your mom had I know my mom has the fake tree. My mom's had hers at least for 10 years. Same one every year. The fake snow, the flocking. That's what I'm saying, bro. If you I got the real one flocked. UAL on the high. Why do they look so aggressive and then it don't move? But yeah, high ticker's almost fully gassed out. Haven't hit a high yet. NASDAQ did just go green in the last couple minutes. Let your living room speak to you. High quality, long-term tree. You see, your living room will tell you what you need, man. Amen. I know, man. I'm such a pagan worshiper. I love Christmas, man. I know. I don't know if Jesus was born on December 25th, but I'm for the vibes. Okay? I know somebody out there, okay, you like, Josh, numerati, it's Yahweh. It's Yahweh. Josh, it's not, you heathen. How do you support this? I'm like, dog, I just really enjoy hot cocoa and shit. And like, I don't know, man. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Okay, Dow Jones, you got 24 green, 6 red. Another one went green. So it's all tech that's red. NASDAQ 6536. So 5, those 7 that went red, 5 of them came back. And then 333 green on the SPY, 170, 160-ish in the red. Pizza. It's on the high. on December 23rd you went and the trees were 80% off. I know, man. That's what I told my girl, because I said if we do want to get, I'm not down with it, but I said maybe if we got one of those giant blow-up Santas. But I'm like, just wait till after Christmas. You'll walk in, they'll be like, who would buy it? They sell them for $1. Yeah, anything pre-Christmas goes for fucking 10 times markup. Right when Christmas is ending, they'll be like, why would you buy this? We'll give it to you for $5. So I said, bullshit. I know you can say Merry Christmas this year. Even last year, bro, we gave up, bro. We didn't even care. After some point, everybody kind of, everybody started going crazy off it, man. We said, fuck that, bro. Merry Christmas. I don't even care. It was banned, bro. It was corporate banned. Remember, I mean, you couldn't, and even like Coca-Cola. I'm like, y'all made the damn Polar Express. How y'all not? This is bullshit. Your dad put yours in the backyard, a Christmas tree? No way. So did you guys like decorate it? And like, that's kind of a good idea. I like it. I guess I should get an outdoor tree. I'm gonna look into that. We have a little one on the farm. There's like 2 little Christmas trees, but I don't know who's been taking care of them. I don't know how they operate. This is still the He Is Risen rally. Do you guys remember that? You guys don't remember after Easter? They called it a lot of things, but we called it the He Is Risen. Maybe that's why my sister wanted to sell out. I don't know. She needed to seek the Lord. This is the He Is Risen rally, bro. Indeed, He is risen. Indeed. How could I forget? Amen. He didn't forget you. Your uncle's a firefighter. He wouldn't let anybody in the family have a real Christmas tree. He would just show house fire. No way. Do they really cause that? I didn't even think about that. Oh, you just scared the shit out. What about the fake trees? Can they light on fire? They're made of plastic from China. Oh no. You unplug it when you go to sleep? Talk. Oh, really? You're supposed to mine don't. I don't unplug mine. Well, shit, I will tonight. All right, I will tonight. Dog, I did not know. The Lord is with me. Yeah, dog, house fires are terrible. After almost lighting my house down with a candle and realizing how underprepared I was. I have a fire blanket though now. I got them for the farm. I kept one. All right, man. SPY new high. You're a little bit away from recovering the morning. You're like, what, 3 points off of yesterday's high? And then is that from a couple days ago? Yeah. And then if we could get our 30 points, really, it's like 20 points from here is the next level, 69.70. And then if you could get above that, we really need like 50 points. So 20 to 50 points. And then about 80 to hit the new all-time high. And if you get that 80 points, we're out of Chop City. You get out of Chop City, the kids are free. Everybody enjoys their holiday, unless the Japanese want to ruin it. That's because of the meeting on December 19th. Yeah, they got LEDs now. Ooh, that was creepy. Bro, I went to type in fidelity, and I accidentally typed in God. Because usually I type in FED. But yeah, I typed in God. I said, why am I Googling God? Amen. The Lord is with you. Cosmos Health launches partnership with Prime Ledger. Plan includes tokenization of intellectual property. Why is Boeing so? Ever since the SPR thing, they started dumping, and SPY going up, still almost fully maxed. Why not Google God? You don't need to Google it. You're already there. Intel's chilling. Oh man. Oh, it's already time for another set of push-ups, dude. I guess we were a little late. I was like, I feel like we just did push-ups. And then we listened to Carp. I like that, man. Oh, mana. All right, man. I don't know if this could hold. If it does this little hit the high, 30 minutes down, it'll go slower. But you got leveled, man. 10, 20 points, and then really like another, like, what, 40? That was the number, and then 80. Yeah, Boeing's still getting clapped. QX, you're broadening out in a very odd way. It's everything, man. So 497, 493 is the winner today. Yeah, time is flying, bro. Even this whole week, it's already Wednesday. Before you guys know it, man. End of the week. End of the first week. And then next week is Powell. One of his last ones. Again, he's done in February, and I think his last meeting is in May. What do you think? Should I pick my 5th house? You've been seeing housing markets slow. I'm starting to pop up. I don't know what you're saying. Have you looked at 5 houses? Do you already own 4? You could buy me one, but if it's a good deal, it don't matter the weather. I've been trying to tell the chat, long-term houses, a lot of it overlaps. You know, the whole buy in the nicest neighborhood, cheapest house, nicest neighborhood. And if you're finding something that's a good deal, and if people are really desperate or motivated, it should reflect in the price. Your only problem is going to be comping it out. So I even had somebody send me a deal the other day, and they were like, and I told them, they said they were going to do it with their friend. I said, you should probably do it yourself. But they comped it out at like 470, and then I saw a comp at like 320. So in this market, you want to go with the lowest comp because shit is not selling quick. It'll still sell at a fair price, but you just got to comp it out. So what's a good deal? You better find the lowest comp and then, you know, go off of that if that makes sense. But just like investing in the long term, you know, a lot of people ask stuff with cash today and what to buy and all of that, but it all comes down to what is your goal. Because if the goal is a flip, you got to operate different. If the goal is cash flow and rental, then that also operates a lot different too. So as long as it makes sense, and that should determine what the deal is, right? A dividend stock versus a growth stock. A flip is like a growth one, or if you're trying to make the equity play. So yeah, man, that's what you got to do. I hope that helps. I think that Glencore news was a little older. It didn't move much. I remember when Glencore was the biggest company in the world, or it was one of them. Glencore was popping. And then I even remember when Glencore got I think that was around 2018, was it? Or was that 2016? I remember when there was like Glencore going bankrupt fears. And then there was the China one. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, man, you're still climbing up. If it goes up here, it's a lot better. Most of these highs, you've just chilled out. So, like, you've done these little oscillations, but then it doesn't go. So, if this goes, Habibi, you know, a little bit of excite. A little bit of long term in my life. A little 10% is all I want. A little bit of long term, all I need. Hey, robot. Damn, those hit. $470 versus $320 is a crazy difference. I mean, the area, I don't know the area. I told him that, but it's you could go and find like the comps that sold not too long ago, or, I mean, you guys have all done this, especially when it comes, that's why just like stocks, real estate, it could get very emotional. I mean, most people, when they want something to happen, they will see what they want, right? Like if I show you a stock going down and you think it's going to bounce, all you're going to see is the bounce, right? Show the same stock to somebody who thinks it's going to die, all they see is it going to zero. So usually people just pick the highest comp they could find. And then they go, and then they're looking at the comps from a while ago, and then one thing leads to another, and that's how you get in that scenario. And then again, one was like really fixed up, one was like in the middle ground, but that's what I was saying. I said, they got a good price to buy the property. So I said, as long as it's, as long as you still can work the deal at 320, that's it. And then, but here's the deal too, though. I'm remembering this email because he was saying how he wanted to partner with his friend, and then they were going to partner with like a construction guy. And then they said they're going to he asked me, I think they wanted money. They wanted me to do the loan. And I said, I'm not down. But because he said 6 to 8 months for construction. So here's the deal, guys. Are you ready? If you want to flip a house, I would not be you're not banking on 6 months of construction. That's insane. Because you're going to get the loan, you're going to pay interest, you're going to spend all that money. Then you go with the high comp, it sounds like a recipe for disaster. So if you guys are trying to do a fix and flip, remember, I mean, y'all saw me pull it off on a house, we did 2 that month. I did the $1 million one, or the $4 million one, and then we did another small one, and those are done in like 30 to 45 days. So if it needs that much work, it better have a crazy profit margin if you're going to spend X amount of time. Longer than a couple months, but really 45 days max is what you should be thinking. And if someone telling you and advising you to try to flip a house and spend a long time on construction, it's not really going to be a good idea. So yeah, you want to do it faster than not. You would take the average of the 5 comparables? No, I would just take the lowest comp or really the most recent one in this market. Because, again, the market is slowed down dramatically. Again, real estate, just like 2019, 2018, you're not watching houses they're not going down in price unless somebody really wants to move them. But it's not you want to look at the most recent one, but I would probably go with the lowest comp. Because if the deal still works at the lowest comp, awesome. If it doesn't, then what are you really expecting? That everything else I think is hope. All right, so if the lowest comp is 320 and you're still getting the house at 200,000 and you could still make it work, then yeah, that's still a deal. You could still find a way. But then if you're going to go average it out and be like, no, it's worth 450, 420, you're just hoping. especially if something goes wrong, you miscalculate, the market gets worse, you name, God knows what can go wrong, will go wrong. But that's kind of the issue. What if you buy the house in cash? Habibi, what do you mean? You sound like my dad. Okay, cash offer does not change the comps, brother. Does not change the comp. So don't spend a lot of time remodeling, and go with the low. I would base what you were going to sell it for at the lowest amount. If you're going to buy a house in cash, I mean, the only benefit would be if it yields higher than the bonds right now, which some do, because rates are going down. And then that way you're just buying a house instead of a bond for both equity and fixed income. You got a pricing tool that helps you make it based off the current market. How does it stack? Like, is it giving you higher than the lowest comp? Because like I'm saying, the easiest way, just go off of the lowest comp. Now, if the lowest comp is like as is terrible, that's not what I'm saying, but it does give you an idea. But right now, you know, if you're trying to flip a bag on a house, just be conservative. And if it works on conservative numbers, all you have is upside. And if it works at the worst case scenario, that's how you know it's a good deal. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't matter the weather. You just got to don't fall for the trap of overpricing what you think it's worth. That's where people kind of run into mistakes. 20% cash discount, Habibi, huh? Yalla. Yeah, they only go live on the deal book on the good interviews. People over, dude. I don't know, man. I think it's in everything. And it's okay. This is what happens though, because like everybody overcomplicates a lot of things, but then the risk is everyone likes the extremes. I don't know if you guys have noticed nowadays. Everybody either wants to overcomplicate it or oversimplify it. Just find the balance, the narrow road, my brothers, and you'll find your answer in the middle. Because, like, yeah, it's very easy to overcomplicate, but then don't make the mistake of, I buy the house, I sell the house. Okay. But sometimes that's better. I mean, I'll tell you a story. I heard this story. I read this the other day. It's a story of a guy. He buys this diamond, this really rare diamond. He buys it for $5 million or I think it was $10 million. $10 million diamond. And then upon buying it, he discovers a crack right in the middle of the diamond. And he takes it to a jeweler, and this jeweler's like, bro, that crack, if you take the diamond and cut it in half, you could turn it into two equal diamonds. It's two separate diamonds that would be worth $30-40 million if you do it. But he said the risk is that if you hit the diamond the wrong way, you could shatter it into a bunch of small pieces, and now you lost your $10 million. So he takes it to a jeweler. They say that, and then he goes around to another jeweler. Other jeweler says the same thing. He said, yeah, it could be either a perfect split, or you'll do it either like it's too risky. It's too risky, all of it. So then he goes and hunts down this guy. There's this guy, this jeweler in Switzerland. And this guy is like one of the most renowned jewelers, known for his steady hand, everything. And he takes it to the guy, and he says the exact same thing. He says, you split it, you got 40, 50 million, but it's very risky if you mess up. And the guy who owns the diamond is already sick of this. So he's like, no, man, I want to do it. Let's split it. I'm down. You're the guy. I trust you. So then he goes, takes the diamond, 10 minutes, he gives it to his apprentice. 10 minutes later, the diamond comes back perfectly split. He now has $40 million. Boom, done. And the guy's amazed. He's like, whoa. He's like, how long has that apprentice been working for you? And he says, oh, only 3 days. He was the only one who wasn't shaking because he didn't know the value of the stone. I told him it was just a normal stone. Ta-da! So yeah, don't overcomplicate it, but if you fuck up, there's still the risk too. Don't oversimplify it, but sometimes, sometimes you overthink it, it'll fuck with you. That fear. So yeah, that's the story. I heard that the other day. I liked it. Lagom. I think I've heard that. The ideal balance. Not too much, but the right amount. I mean, new construction with rates, just if you want to really live in that house, you can't flip new builds now. I think for the first time in a while, new builds have gone down, I think. So you can't play, I fucked up the new builds back in 2020, but that opportunity doesn't exist the same way. Ta-da. Been a long time. What I need. Burpee. All right, let's do a push-up, and I need to go to the bathroom. Can we have some propaganda, please? Aisle 5, propaganda. Hello.
500 up about 20. We've got the NASDAQ composite climbing 34 points. And shares of Marvel Technology rallying after reassuring investors that its custom chip design unit is winning repeat orders. Marvel also plans to acquire the startup Celestial AI for at least $3.25 billion. For on-demand news 24 hours a day, subscribe to Bloomberg News Now wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Alexis Christoforous. That's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now back over to Joe Matthew and Balance of Power.
All right, Alexis, thank you so much. Great to have you along the Wednesday edition of Balance of Power here on Bloomberg Radio. Nice to see you on YouTube. If you're not already watching the radio on TV, just search Bloomberg Business News Live. Catch this program and the rest of our lineup from Washington, D.C. and world headquarters in New York throughout the day. It's one of the coolest things we've got going. You can pause it, you can back it up. If you've got YouTube TV, by the way, the full package, dial up Bloomberg Originals. They carry the program all 2 hours every day. We've got breaking news that will not make the defense secretary probably a lot more comfortable as he prepares to light the inaugural Pentagon Christmas tree this evening, just before 5 p.m. CNN gets first grab here at the Signal Gate report. If this wasn't on your radar, it should be. The Inspector General report into the Signal Gate scandal, due to be made public here, having already been delivered to the Senate Armed Services Committee, according to Axios, which means the whole thing will be leaked at some point very soon. We'll get a redacted version publicly, but CNN is talking to sources about what's inside. The headlines just crossing the terminal. Hegseth endangered troops by using Signal. Watchdog finds, citing 4 sources on Watchdog report of Hegseth Signal use. So we'll just park that right there, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we learn more. We're also waiting to learn a lot more when we consider the ability of the administration to control the narrative over Signalgate or anything else going on. So far, Russia is the only one to describe what went on inside the meeting yesterday with Vladimir Putin. Remember, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner went to the other side of the world to talk with Putin in Moscow. They spoke for the better part of 5 hours. And if you're with us on YouTube, there's a little peek inside the room. Always with the white table, huh? Big, long white table. No readout, however, from the White House, or I guess more specifically, from Truth Social. That's where we tend to get them now. In administrations past, you'd get a formal document with the White House seal on it and a readout. That typically was pretty sketchy. These days, the president himself usually writes what he thinks about it in a long missive on Truth Social. We've received neither. As far as the Russians are concerned,
what are you mad
during
about?
yesterday's negotiations, something was accepted, something was noted as unacceptable, and this is a normal working process of seeking compromise, according to the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov.
Cars,
That's more than we've gotten from
Your dad wants
the
to
Americans.
Lease a Bronco
he was quoted to say, the more quietly these negotiations are conducted, the more productive they will be. That might be what's happening. Let's see what the panel thinks.
No, I mean, are you mad
Rick Davis
that the
is
other
with us,
president
Bloomberg Politics
talk?
contributor, Republican strategist, and partner at Stone Court
Capital.
Capital.
Talking shit that he's posting the social, but like you're mad he didn't give you one? So what state are you in, Alex? Because go to Lease Hacker. And then is your dad, you guys got AAA members? Is he a veteran? Go to, and then, yeah, too, I don't know, can she wait a little bit? Because if you wait till next year, I think you're going to get a write-off on all of the American vehicles. So it might even play into next year, too, but this year's payment, or you only have a little bit. But go to leasehacker.com. Let me find it for you. Deals. Where is it? Is it the South? Let's see. Florida. What the fuck? There's only one deal. E-tron. No way. Oh, what? Dog, all the lease deals disappeared. What the fuck happened? You guys remember last time we went there? Yeah. You could get a write-off. Well, again, I don't know if the lease, everybody gets a write-off on a lease because you only get to write off the duration of the lease, though. Just all of the payments, pretty much. But you can, no, remember there was those Toyota Tundras for like $400? I was just showing you guys. So yeah, there's not that many lease deals available right now. You could probably find somewhere else, but if he buys a bigger vehicle, he might be able to get a better discount, or again, the American ones. But I mean, that doesn't seem too bad. It seems a little standard. I would say 550 is a little bit higher for a $45,000 vehicle, because like a good lease deal, get for like $500 a month. If it's a good deal, you'll be getting like, it'd be like a $60,000 car. Yeah, I think you could get it lower. If you get the same car for like $399, $400, I think that would be a better deal. But yeah, just if he really wants that car, but it's a little bit on the high end. I don't think you're getting totally washed, but you could definitely get it better. No money down is good. No, like, is that's the full drive off, like zero drive off. That's even better. But like I'm saying, it's usually if you go for like the MSRP, a good deal at like a 5, because 500 could get you a nice car. 5 nowadays, at least last time I showed this a couple months ago. And we went through, bro. There was a fuck ton of cars at $500 a month that were nice, like really nice. But they usually, like, a good deal is going to be like 60,000 MSRP for that $550 a month. And usually it's like $2,000 out the door. $2-3 is the drive off. But you can do zero. But again, too, go look, because end of the year, you might be able to, like, if you even are down to finance it instead of lease, he might get a better write-off. So if your dad is down to do it on the write-off, I would maybe even look into some of the vehicles that you could purchase. Then you could get zero interest, zero down, zero drive-off, and then it's a full write-off as well. Oh, like the whole duration, not just the payments. You could write off the depreciation of the vehicle too. So, are they coming out? If they come out with a new Bronco, then I would definitely wait. Or ask for way cheaper. I don't know about the Broncos. I'm not too into that. So yeah, what's the timeline? Is it for Christmas? But yeah, if she's down to wait, I think you could get a little better. But I don't think it's the worst deal if you want the car. But it's definitely not the best deal. I would say it's pretty average. Oh, birthday for March? Oh yeah, I'd wait. I'll keep it in mind. I'll look around for you and see. I'm mad though. Usually a quick run on Lease Hacker, there's usually some good deal. Let me see if I could get another one for you, bro. There's another place I saw the other day. But that's whack, dude. Let's see. Does she only want the Bronco? Ooh, you could get the Mercedes GLC. $515 a month for the 2026 GLC. If I wait, I'll get killed with mama. Only the Bronco? She don't want a Benz? She could get a baby Benz. See, this is the deal I like, bro. 2025 C300. I love that car. $379 a month. That's a $50K MSRP. Or you could get an E-Class for $660. That's a big boy car. Let me see. I'm going through the forum for you. Here, go to Lease Hacker and then hit on the forum and then go to South and then go find Ford. I mean, there has to be a Ford on here somewhere. But yeah, usually at least Benz has a couple. I mean, the Bronco's not, if it's the small Bronco, I think a 17-year-old girl could handle it. Because, like, if it's the big-ass fucking Raptor one, then yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Because some of those Broncos are small. Let's see. Ford. Alright, I found a Ford. Holy fuck. You could get the Ford Lightning for $499 a month. That's crazy. They used to sell those for like $100,000. It's the Big Ben type of Bronco. Damn! Those are cool, but that's a big ass car. Let's see. Dude, what the fuck? Oh, they got rid of the E-credit on the... You could have got the Jeeps, but I don't think that's there. Your friend works at Toyota, that Tacoma 0 down 3. Does that still exist, bro? I remember we saw that. That was a good one. Boeing's still on the low. It says there's a nationwide Ford Bronco 2000 cash back. So that's usually good because you got to think about it. $500 a month is $6,000 a year. So if you get $2,000 back, it knocks off some of that. That's how you get. I have an old lease hacking video. That's how you get a good deal. Any rebates. That's why I was asking veteran, AAA, if you've owned a Ford before. If she's a student, you're a student, they'll give you a little bit. But that's how you do it. But yeah, that's all I could find for now. But it does seem 45,000 is the MSRP. I see a couple of them there for the big ones. You got till March. You could maybe give it a little, or try to get them to go down to like $400 a month. See, give them a discount. If they lower any of that MSRP or lower the interest or any of that other stuff, that's how you could lower that payment a little bit. Like I said, it's not the worst deal. It's not the best deal. I think it boils down to how bad you want it. All right, I need to do one more push-up. One more physical activity.
Timing for Hegseth, given the dialogue right now about the double tap strike on the Venezuelan fishing boats and whether or not those were illegal orders. I think it feeds into the same narrative that Hegseth is more concerned about being macho than about running the department efficiently. He's not concerned about the safety of our troops or ensuring that we're upholding standards. And I think it just feeds into a larger picture of recklessness and carelessness that ultimately Trump is going to get tired of. And it's a question of whether he cuts bait with Hegseth now or he waits until after Christmas. But it does feel like Trump is getting tired of it.
Well, the Admiral is going to be testifying tomorrow, as you know, Rick, before the Senate Armed Services Committee about the second strike, or the double tap, as everyone keeps calling it. I sort of get a kick out of everyone using the jargon at this point. Will it be the Admiral's testimony or the results of Signalgate that end Pete Hegseth's career?
You know, look, I don't think there's going to be any one thing that pulls that trigger potentially from the White House. I mean, like, remember, a month ago we were talking about that crazy meeting in Quantico where, Hegseth calls all the general staff to talk to them about what they wear and how fat they are. I mean, like, that began people scratching their head going, what in the world is going on in the secretary's office? So this has been kind of a routine exercise of inconsistency by this secretary, and I think that it's the cumulative weight of all this stuff that ultimately will, I think, sink this boat without a double wow.
Well done. Who's bought DoubleTap.com? James, is that available? I think I know a guy who's buying. Great panel today. Rick Davis, Caitlin Legacki. They'll be back in hour 2 here. Double Tap, hour 2. I'm Joe Matthew in Washington. Jane Harmon will be with us ahead. Stay right here on Bloomberg.
Ripperoonie. You even got crypto coming up, and the Russell. Besant says White House may veto Federal Reserve presidents. No, are they not going with Hassett? Huh? Or they're probably talking about everybody saying that. The other people on the board. I think, well, everyone's getting replaced. You guys know that? That's the crazy part. It's a unique scenario where everybody is going to, all of the regional feds, their terms expire. So you might wind up with their thing. I think he's talking about saying the requirements for who can be selected as a regional fed. Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. So, like, because that's what it is. He was talking about it this morning, saying that you have to live in the state that you want to represent for at least 3 years. Because I'm telling you guys, at some point, some of y'all could have been joined on the Fed. You know that? Like, if you were liberal enough, like 3 years ago, and applied, and you met they probably would have selected you. Because I don't know how we winded up with fucking Kugler and Mr. Bostic and all these guys who are just sketchy as fuck. So, yeah, I kind of agree. But that's why I've been telling you guys this for the last couple of weeks. It started with Nick Timmerhouse. People are trying to give off this impression that the Fed is a democracy. It's not. Everybody gets appointed, and the chair is the one that makes the decision. That's it. The other guys vote, and they vote on the other, like, broader, like, what they expect, and they weigh in on the decision, but the chair can do whatever he wants. So that's why they're saying, oh, the other Fed members won't be supportive of this. It doesn't matter. And I'm not saying that to support Donald Trump in a way where it says, oh, give him all the power, whatever he wants. I'm saying it where just that's how it's always worked. And it's not like, so every Fed person, they play their role and they're there to offer opinions and credibility. But that's where I keep saying, I'm like, the Fed has already lost credibility. That's why having some of these conversations is like, it's like literally looking at Sam Bankman and being like, well, yeah, we're not gonna, maybe Sam Bankman, trying to put him in a spot. It's like, dude, the guy already lost credibility. I don't even know if the Fed even has an example, because it's been terrible. So, but yeah, it's like, otherwise you wouldn't have had Volcker. You guys understand that? Do you think that Volcker, when he did what he needed to do during the 70s, do you think everybody agreed with that? If Volcker had to listen to a board, Volcker never would have raised rates to 15, 18%. Same thing with McChesney, the guy that FDR slammed into the wall, or LBJ. That wouldn't have happened. Why would he go and target the Fed chair if you had to go through a fucking board of directors and have them all approve on it? So they're trying to put this idea out to loosen the credibility of the new guy and try to make it rely on the board, but that's just never how it worked. I mean, again, I've watched every Fed meeting with you guys live for, every single Powell, actually. I don't think we've ever missed a Powell, now that I think about it. But yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, that's definitely a new development. Be okay. BMY still up from the morning, and SPY's looking good, man. High ticker's up. You didn't do the oscillation, you did more of the melt up. December's usually good, but there has been choppy Decembers. So seasonality is in your favor, but it still might not necessarily play out how you think. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. I'm in a cult. Hey. Yeah, Volcker got death threats. They protested Volcker. Literally, Volcker, they protested in front of the Fed. They had a No Kings protest in front of the Fed around the 70s. It was against Vietnam as well, too. But yeah, they protested it. And he still did it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to defend Trump, but to let people kind of misrepresent the Fed, especially people who are very credible, like Nick Timmerhouse and other people who we would kind of look at. I'm like, come on, you guys. That's not, that's just not how it works. So why are we going to confuse people and try to, we've given a lot of power to the Fed, and that's fine. But to kind of misrepresent it now is ridiculous. That's the downside, because when Powell did whatever he wanted, nobody said shit. Powell literally overnight bailed out a bunch of banks in 2023, and not one person had a problem with it. Not one person brought up credibility. Nothing. He could have, and whether or not the board agreed with him or not, he did it. Who do you think wanted emergency cuts during COVID? That was a Powell decision. That's why I think he acted well during that time. But yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy. We'll see deflation. I don't know. 2026 is going to be a mix of deflation and inflation. So whichever one wins, right? Tariffs are deflationary, tax breaks, everything else that they're doing with the BBB is going to be inflationary. AI, job loss, deflationary, productivity, inflationary. So it's all going to depend on which factor has more. So I think 2026 is going to have both factors going head on. You're going to have a lot of push and pull, and it's going to be great for a lot of people, and then it could be bad for a lot of people, but ultimately one of them is going to win. Ideally, and this is what I think Bessent and Trump are trying to do, they want it to settle in the middle. Because I would argue the tariffs saved you from having crazy inflation this year. Even though everybody told you it was going to happen, it didn't. And that's why I think Powell made a mistake, because Powell kept things so tight. I'm surprised we haven't had a deflationary spiral. But then again, that could have been because of all the other money floating around as well too. And then you also had the tariffs that added the deflation, and that's why it's like I think we're running out of time. And that's why if Powell and the Fed doesn't really start to ease it up, or everybody just ran out the clock, because even if the Fed stays tight, the inflationary factors are going to start kicking in next year. And then we'll really see what's up with it. But I think it's just going to go head on, and one of them's going to win. Ideally, the main goal is they both hit each other and then balance out, to like a chemical reaction where two volatile assets hit and then it neutralizes. That's the idea. But if you have a little too much in one direction, something's getting lit on fire, either up or down. So ideally, though, I think people want up, but then again, I don't know if politically you can't handle up, right? But then at the same time, you haven't seen the politics of everything going down. And what I mean by that is that, you can't you can't handle inflation right now. Like imagine next year happens and it's really inflationary with no deflationary factors. I don't think the middle, it's going to fuck up the middle class, and it's going to hurt the lower class even more, where you now have, it's just way more expensive to live. But yeah, I do think the downside, we haven't experienced that, because inflation will be politically unpopular. That's an idea we talked about even coming into this year. That's what I was saying. People were thinking they framed tariffs as inflationary, but if you really knew the history from day one, that shit was deflationary. But I'm just a little Egyptian boy. Don't take my word for it. Is that the right video? I'm excited for next year, though. I think there's going to be a lot more. Man, this year had a ton of opportunity. So get ready for the next part, baby. So, Chattadonia, the Lord is with you. But I think it's time we move to philosophy. The market's already up. Maybe you get a little philo run. But if you guys would like to talk about the Lord, your Savior, I would love to speak to you today. But today's going to be more motivational, I would say. Motivational as it is truth. So I don't know if you want to be there. It's up to you. Maybe you're going to stress about the market. Maybe you need constant stimulation, or you're hanging on to emotions that won't allow you to free yourself. But I encourage you, if you're open, you might want to listen. So it'll take you there. When I'm done, I'll post the link too. It's free to join.